Hello, this is Mole Man in the morning. Good Mole Man to you.
Hello and welcome to Mole Man in the Morning.
Good Mole Man. That's Mole Man on a roller coaster.
Oh, okay. I got that he was going fast. You got a good Doppler effect.
I thought you'd fallen down a hole.
A hole full of spikes and crossbows.
Yep.
Yes, lots of that cartoon violence are coming.
I love cartoon violence. What was the most violent cartoon you guys watched as a kid?
Oh, we're going straight into this, aren't we? Derailed it at the 50-second mark.
It's a quick question. You could have just answered it and we'd be done. I assume it was Tom and Jerry for all of us.
A very good chance, yeah.
I would go with Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry or Wile E. Coyote was also pretty violent.
Popeye had his moments.
Yeah, true. There you go. We can move on now.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of punching going on.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
And an implied kidnapping and sexual assault. That Bruno was a bad lad.
Yeah?
Jesus, Michael.
Okay. Sure. Anyway, we are Mole Man in the Morning. We are a podcast about how The Simpsons has a lot to say about society. I am your host, John, and I'm joined, as ever, by my two animated co-hosts, Matt.
I'm dead serious about these episodes of The Simpsons.
And Mike.
Hey. Adley Ho, podcasterino.
Hey.
It's a genuine highlight of my week hearing Michael say that.
It's my only purpose in life. But I would like to say a personal thank you to everybody that bothered to listen to the clip show episode of our podcast last time it came around. Thank you for your dedication.
There were not many of them. I'm gonna level with you.
We promise you that these next two, there is something here.
Yeah, though the clip show is, like, I actually think our least viewed episode on YouTube by a margin. By a good margin, currently. So, yeah, clip show's not popular. Who knew? I think
That's
a lot of people
crazy.
find us by searching for Simpsons episode titles and, like, who the fuck is looking for a Simpsons clip show? Like, nobody's
Yeah.
going to find that episode because nobody's looking for that episode. Anyway, some episodes that people might be looking for are Itchy and Scratchy Land and Sideshow Bob Roberts, which are going to be Season 6, Episodes 4 and 5, which we are going to be going through today, talking about what happened and what they have to say about society.
Did anyone else notice that in the title of Itchy and Scratchy Land, there's no space between Scratchy and Land?
What?
It just says
afford
Itchy. It's Itchy and Scratchy Land. I'm curious
Whereabouts?
if that is like
What? On
at least,
Disney, or
at least on on Disney Plus for me, there was no space between Scratchy and Land. It just says Itchy and Scratchy Land.
wow, I sure hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
I hope so. They deserved it.
Anyway, before we talk about Itchy and Scratchy Land, we have far more pressing business to attend to, which is what the hell are we drinking?
I once again splurged. There is a part reason for this. I couldn't be fucking arsed watching The Graduate. I will watch it. So I bought myself something that I wouldn't normally buy. I bought myself Bacchus Premium Belgian Raspberry Beer. It
Ooh,
sounds fucking foul. So I might enjoy it, I might not, but this is essentially my little forfeit for
Not watching The Graduate.
for not watching The Graduate, yeah. So
Belgian
I'll give it an
fruity stuff, I
open now.
think, off the top of my head, is probably quite sour as well, so it's really hitting the matte notes there.
Yeah. It also has like nothing on the bottle. It was all on this like little crinkly like
Nothing.
wrapping around it. So the bottle is pure green. So here we
Okay.
go. Ah, that's so weird. That's so weird. It's like, do you know when you leave like Ribena and it's definitely started to ferment? It's that.
Prison wine.
It's been left for about 3 years.
No. The more I drink it. And I have to drink this throughout the podcast. That's my own consequence.
Should have watched The Graduate.
Should have watched The Graduate.
Michael.
I have ongoing medical problems, so I am sticking to ginger ale. I am an old man.
You're allowed to say ginger beer.
No, this is actual ginger ale.
Ginger ale and ginger beer are
Oh,
different
okay.
things. I forever forget which one's which and which one's the good one. One of them's okay and one of them's meh.
This is described as fiery and sweet. So it's more sweet than normal ginger beer.
What I drink is bitter and sad.
John, what are you drinking?
I've got Salt Brewery's ICAT, which is a double dry hopped dipper. It's described as hoppy and tropical, and it's 8% alcohol.
No, you can't just gloss over the fact that you said dipper as if that's a normal thing to say in reference to a beer.
Okay,
What's a dipper?
for people who don't drink beer, a dipper is
Here
a
we go.
double IPA, which is like more than a normal IPA. It's just more hops, more alcohol, more flavor. Just everything's dialed up.
Okay. Thank you for that lesson.
You also get tippers, but there's a rare. Dippers are
I appreciate
good.
that I'm doing a podcast with two people that are drinking quite strong alcohol this time around.
Mine's only 5%.
It's a Friday
Nice.
night, why not? And I need to talk about American politics. I need 8% alcohol in me to talk about American politics.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
See, the annoying thing is this beer smells really nice.
Mm.
Like, it smells great. It's the same thing as like coffee for me. I think coffee is devil piss water, but it smells amazing. Just like I wouldn't drink coffee, I wouldn't drink petrol despite the smell.
Have you considered combining the two and seeing what happens?
What, pouring some of this into some coffee?
And
Or
who knows,
pouring
maybe-
petrol in my
Add a bit of
coffee?
petrol. Give it some pep.
Yeah, I don't free. See what happens.
That's my next forfeit. Is to drink petrol, coffee, and Bacchus.
God.
What a way to go out in it.
Absolutely.
Please don't take another forfeit. You might die.
I better get the episode of All for Arnold out in time then.
Mm.
If you do die, can I have your Mumbo number 5 plates?
Absolutely.
Hey.
That's a callback.
It was last episode. It's not that far back.
It feels long ago.
Anyway, that's enough derailments. Let's talk about Itchy and Scratchy Land, which was an episode which aired on October 2nd, 1994. What on earth happened on that day?
Well, brace yourself. Legendary Miami head coach Don Shula defeats Cincinnati head coach and his son David in the first ever NFL meeting between father and son as the Dolphins beat the Bengals 23-7.
Wait, so the Dolphins and the Bengals beat each other. What the fuck has it got to do with? So the captain of one team, or the owner of one team,
The coach.
the son, the coach. So the coaches
Their
were
coach-
father and son.
Yes. And the father beat the son as the Dolphins beat the Bengals.
John, when I was explaining that in the video one, can you put up the image of the woman with the maths going by her head? 'Cause I feel like I was just not comprehending such a
No,
simple,
it is
a
phrased.
simple thing.
I had to read it a couple times. It is phrased weirdly. My interpretation is Don Shula was the coach of, I assume, the Dolphins, and David, I guess, Shula, his son, was playing for the Bengals, so father beat the son, which doesn't, normally nobody plays football long enough for father and son to be playing in the same match, so I guess it's just odd that the family are competing in the NFL there, albeit not necessarily both playing. Weird.
Yeah, it's just the way that sentence was going. I thought it was going to be like some charity boxing match or something.
Just
But no,
beating up your son for charity.
Yeah.
well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Are you ready for your Pakistan cricket update?
Absolutely.
Always.
Pakistan cricket batsmen Izamun ul Haq and Mushtaq Ahmed put on 57 runs in 8 overs for the highest last wicket partnership ever to win a test as the home team beats Australia by 1 wicket in the first test in Karachi.
Woo!
But
Suck it, Australia.
how was the cream and strawberries in the beer at the match? That's what everyone goes to cricket for, right?
I mean, it's in Pakistan, so I'd be surprised if they had beer.
Is beer like not okay?
I'm sure it is. Pakistan's a Muslim country, isn't it?
Do they not drink alcohol at all?
I have no idea about Pakistan's approach and attitudes towards beer. I've got to level with you.
I know fuck all about Pakistan, man.
I know very little, I've got to be honest.
I mean, if I'm
I know
wrong
they
about
like cricket.
that, if I'm wrong about that, I apologize.
Well, I
You don't need
I
to be.
genuinely don't know either, so I apologize for my ignorance, and I also apologize for my co-host's ignorance.
Sorry, Pakistan, we don't know anything about you.
We're so sorry, the one dude from Pakistan that's watching this.
We'll learn something when The Simpsons does an episode about Pakistan.
And I'm sure it will be done very tastefully.
So tastefully.
Apu will be throwing right hands, I suspect, in that scene.
Throwing right hands. I like how you specified which.
I don't think he shops at the Leftorium.
This is fair. Fucking so stupid.
Shall I do the number ones?
Give us some music,
on,
jeez.
Well, there's not really much point because the US number one, those Boys to Men are still making love to us.
Yeah, I'd get used to that.
Yep, and it's still Saturday night in the UK. Wakefield is untouchable.
And it's unfortunately not the Saturday Night that I thought it was, which is a much better song. Saturday night at the movies.
How dare you?
I was born at the ripe age of 65.
I'm drinking ginger ale. Don't talk to me about age.
I think I'm the youngest person on the show, and I'm 32.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Right, what's happening in this episode? We must have a chalkboard gag to get into.
I am not the reincarnation of
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. Okay, I know that name. I don't
He
know why it's
was a
funny.
member of the Rat Pack.
Oh, with Frank Sinatra? That's the
I
Rat
And
Pack,
believe
right?
Frank
so,
Sinatra
yeah.
and Dean Martin.
Right, okay.
He was the African American in the group at a time when it
I-
wasn't very common for them to be high-profile entertainers.
Yeah. I maintain my ethos that the only people that find the chalkboard gags funny is the person who wrote them.
He was apparently a big Sammy Davis Jr. fan.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that chalkboard gag. Yeah.
Yeah, usually they try and make it somewhat relevant.
Yeah, it's just nothing on that one.
Yeah,
Those are
just
just some
no.
words that are on the board.
I mean, I'm just double-checking this, and he died in 1990, so it's not even, like, a relevant thing.
Yeah, recent-ish, but like not that.
We went into this whole thing about their relevant jokes not always being relevant with the fucking Mrs. Lisa Goes to Washington thing. Like the people that write Simpsons are chronically aged.
I mean, not to nitpick the chalkboard gag too much, but also Bart's 10. Sammy Davis Jr. died 4 years ago at the time of writing this. Of course he's not a reincarnation. Why would he be?
Yes, yes, Simpsons.
That was more funny than the chalkboard gag once it clicked in my head.
I think this is the most in-depth universal
We
feature.
do not need to analyze a chalkboard gag any further. You are correct. Let's move on to the couch gag. My God.
I like this
couch-
one.
And the couch gag is the beam one.
Yes.
Beam.
The beam.
Beam me up, Scotty. A little bit Star Trek humor. I like it.
This is the first time we see this effect. Also, Simpsons Wiki seems to imply that the beaming effect is different, done in a different style from a different show the second time it is used, which is an interesting quirk.
Yeah.
It's very
It's
strange.
weird that they didn't think to do this when they actually had Leonard Nimoy on the show.
Can't be having relevant things, come on.
That's fair. That's fair.
I
They've
think
got to
they
keep
want-
their references niche, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. Alright, so the episode starts with an episode of Itchy and Scratchy, the last traction hero. Scratchy
This
is
was like the this was so... I genuinely felt uncomfortable.
get ready to
I
feel
don't-
very uncomfortable this
I
episode.
don't mind violence. That's the thing. I've told you guys some of the horror films that I've watched. Like, I don't mind violence, but I don't know why. But this in particular, just the slicing at the end of the bit made me just fucking curl up inside. It was unpleasant.
So basically, Scratchy pumps a load of iron and he gets super jacked.
I
Itchy
love
starts-
that bit though in cartoons of like doing like 3 or 4 lifts and you're suddenly like ripped.
Yeah, it
Are you
doesn't
telling
work.
me
that
that
way
doesn't
in real life.
work? Oh, man.
No,
I'm
unfortunately.
doing it wrong.
You just end up in the ER with a bad back.
You do see visual effects from working out a lot sooner than you would realize, and it is very gratifying. So I encourage everyone to lift weights.
But the natural hazard, as Scratchy demonstrates, is if you lift too many weights, a little cartoon mouse will come and prick all your muscles until you bleed quite a bit, and then slice them off with a chainsaw. which, as Matt said, he found quite uncomfortable.
Yeah, I find bleeding and then like removing slivers of skin more unpleasant than when people get like straight up decapitated. I don't know why. Just the idea of like slicing off bits of skin. Just
It's a bit more torturous, isn't it?
And the fact that they then sit there and do an ad read.
Yes. So after the kids have laughed, Itchy and Scratchy turn to the camera and say they want to speak seriously for a moment. And it is, of course, the opening of Itchy and Scratchy Land, the violentest place on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cutting ticket prices in half. Scratchy pulls out the half price sign, but instead Itchy stabs him in the head with the scissors. And Scratchy pulls out his own brain and just kind of draws.
It's that noise.
Fucking grim.
Oh.
We then go back to the Krusty Studios, and Krusty says, "You heard the cartoon mouth rat. Go ask your parents, because he's not going to be doing anything, because he's just going to be reading his newspaper."
This grown, like we says, like adult newspaper, like for adults or something.
Yeah, if we want to get into the like the level of violence at this early stage, since it is relevant, it should be noted that at this point, more stringent censorship laws have been brought in, and Fox are really trying to like cut down on the violence in it. And in response, the writers created this, which like part of their design brief behind this was to make it as violent as possible. So Fox threatened that they would cut the Itchy and Scratchy parts out themselves if they tried to air it. And then the showrunner went and said, "Well, if you do that, we're just going to go and tell the media what you've done." And I think they came to a compromise on the violence. But like,
yeah, that's interesting because it's not that violent an episode after this point.
No.
I suppose it depends on what you consider violence, but there's not that much physical harm done after this point. I don't think, unless I'm remembering wrong.
There's a lot of fighting, but nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, exactly. There's no blood after this point, other than
a couple of people died. A couple of people died in a car crash, but other than that,
oh yeah,
but they deserved it. They slept at the wheel. That's their fault.
So the kids go off to ask Homer if they can go to Itchy and Scratchy Land. Now it's half price. So we get the, "Can we go, Dad? Can we go, Dad? Can we go, Dad?" And Lisa goes, "Can we go?" And then Bart cuts her off. Homer goes, "No, no, 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 no." Then finally says, "Ask your mother on the last one."
Oh, you mean you skipped the Bible bit?
Yeah, I was going to say, he
God,
bought a
yes,
Bible for $15.
Oh, yes,
Yeah. Talk about a preachy book. Everyone's a sinner, except for this
kid's
guy. Oh, I like that. I like that so much. That was a good bit.
The kids run into the kitchen and say they're going to Itchy and Scratchy Land, but Marge says, "Nope, but we're going to the Highway 9 Bird Sanctuary."
And we get some front-facing Simpsons.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I wrote down good faces because they pull some faces.
It's awful. It's awful.
So Marge is quite psyched because they've installed a new bird feeder, and
it looks like a diner. God, I realize how old I feel sometimes when I relate to Marge, because that sounds awesome.
It does. Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
I'm going to a bird sanctuary for the second time later this month.
You are about the same age as Marge, so I mean, it checks out.
This is fair. Bird sanctuaries are cool. Birds are so cool.
Birds are rad.
Birds are rad. I want that on a shirt.
And it is on
Or
a
some
really tall
undies.
pole.
On some undies, because we're finally... No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We are so far. We are so far away.
Segment.
We then cut back to Homer and Marge sleeping, and Lisa wheels Bart in on a wagon and declares that Bart is dead.
Yep.
Which leads Homer and Marge to wake up, and then Bart comes alive and goes, "That's right, dead serious about going to Itchy and Scratchy Land."
This must be a reference to sort of that kind of Billy Mays style advertising. Like, this must be... I'm not saying it's ripped directly, but I imagine there is something very similar on, like, the Home Shopping Network back then.
Yeah, entirely possible. I'm not aware if it's a reference or anything. But
yeah, exactly. But it's like the way Bart says it, dead serious about going to Itchy and Scratchy. It very much comes across like I said, like a Billy Mays kind of style advert.
Yeah, Simpsons Archive has like a horrifyingly long list of references for this episode. It is chock full of things, so who knows?
I'm not surprised.
So the kids finally reveal the ace in the hole, which is the parents' island, and they reveal what it offers, which includes dancing, bowling, and fashionable shops.
Yeah, how many bars did they say? It's like 105.
Yep, so they say over 100 bars and saloons and a world-class chemical dependency centre.
That bit was good. That was funny.
Homer's happy about TV Town, and Marge is happy about recipe-related bumper cars, which leads to Bart and Lisa.
What does that mean?
This prompts Bart and Lisa to look at each other for a very awkward amount of time before they...
Yeah, there's a weird cut here.
I did not know what happened here. They're happy and dancing on the bed, and Marge is still reluctant to go because every time they go on vacation, she gets horribly embarrassed. Marge wants them to promise this what happened this time, and Homer asks what she's on about, and Marge begins reminiscing, which includes the trip to the Amish country, where we see that Homer was sticking ice creams on everybody and laughing about the fact nobody was fighting back.
I don't think that's true. I'm fairly certain the Amish would just fucking deck you.
I think that, are they not pacifists?
I think they're supposed to.
I don't know. Maybe.
Most of my knowledge of the Amish
I know
people,
they sell weed.
I'm going to level with you. Most of my knowledge of the Amish people comes from Weird Al Yankovic's Amish Paradise.
Are Amish pacifists?
But this is specifically a reference to the movie Witness, apparently.
Christian pacifism.
Yeah.
There you go.
So everyone's looking mortified as Homer's having the time of his life until a mule kicks him away, because presumably for being a jackass.
The mule is not a pacifist, yes.
And then we see them at the beach, and everyone is running away because Homer has dressed up like a shark. We don't see, but Bart is
I don't
also
see why
the
that was
same.
embarrassing. That's just funny.
Yeah, I was thinking this. I thought they had one good gag for why Marge would be embarrassed, and then they had like the most tired, overdone beach cartoon gag ever. And I thought, you guys didn't really think about this one.
Homer's amused with himself until Bart comes up with having done the same thing. Homer says "Shark boy" and runs away.
Yeah, that was such a weak way to end that gag. Like, why not just have Homer be scared of the shark coming and then Bart reveal himself? Like, I know that would be almost more cliche than what they did.
And yeah, I think that's probably why they did this, because
it would have
of that.
at least been funny.
Marge says that she wants them to do things together as a family, get lots of exercise, and have wonderful memories of the vacation. The kids are sure that they'll do that. We then cut to Homer packing his suitcase, which includes a lobster hat, fishnet speedos, wheelie shoes, and an invisible dog lead. And he says, "Well, I'm packed."
Were Heelys When were Heelys invented? Because he says wheelie shoes. He didn't say roller skates. He says wheelie shoes.
I presume Heelys are like a trademark? Are they like avoiding using a specific like trademark brand?
They are a American brand of roller shoe. Roller shoes are shoes that have wheels. There's I remember tricks.
Yeah, Heelys themselves weren't actually patented till 1999, so Heelys didn't exist then. They would have just been roller shoes.
If you go to the roller shoes page, there is nothing on it.
Yeah, this is not a well-researched area of human endeavor. Someone needs to find out more about Heelys,
Dear
rollers,
H.
whatever.
Bomber guy, I have an idea for your next video.
You see that Grandpa's been left in charge of the pets, and Marge asks him if he wants to write down any of the instructions, and Grandpa insists that he's not senile, and family drive off, and Grandpa panics because he wants to know what the last thing about Grandpa's little helper was.
I thought this was a setup for a B plot, and this
I'm just
went
going to say
nowhere.
the same thing. Yeah, absolutely was just going to say the same thing, that I am amazed this wasn't a B plot.
Maybe they did have a B plot, and they just had to cut so much of it for other material that this was all that was left.
I'm not surprised. This was a pretty like jam-packed episode.
The bit ends with Grandpa looking at the pets and going, "Which one of you is
Which
the
one
mailman?"
is the mailman?
Which prompts the pets to look at each other.
Yeah.
I did not laugh at that. So in the car, Homer says, has the family make a pact where they say this will be the best vacation ever, or they're all going to disband and join other families, which everyone agrees to.
Yep, that's fair. Me and my family used to do that every year.
So Homer tells the kids to fasten their seatbelts because they're off to Itchy and Scratchy Land. He comes up to the interstate and is immediately date locked in.
They take the sign to some other state, which is what's written on the sign.
Which is great.
Oh, that's actually even funnier because, like, remember on the Springfield state flag it says not just another state.
Yep.
So the next state over is some other state. That's great. That's fucking hilarious. I didn't even notice. Glum toothpaste.
Homer says he's got his secret weapon, which is just honking the horn.
Sure.
Homer would think that's a secret weapon.
We don't get a lot of advertisements for Flickies.
Okay, so I'm
don't know if this is a
fairly
real thing.
certain this is a Buc-ee's reference, But I don't know if Buc-ee's is that old. Buc-ee's is pretty old. So
I'm not familiar with Buc-ee's, so...
Yes, you are, because I took a picture of it while I was in America.
I have forgotten about Buc-ee's then.
Buc-ee's,
okay, Simpsons Archive reckons it's Stuckey's, but...
Stuckey's, I don't know what Stuckey's is, but...
It's a Southeast US restaurant chain.
Ever since 1982 was Buc-ee's, and what they pass is like a diner... I don't know if it is a petrol station. I don't know. I would assume that Americans would know better about what it is a reference to, but it gave Buc-ee's vibes to me.
Mm-hmm.
All we know is that we drive past the signs and it's getting closer and closer. But finally ask if they could stop at Flicky's, and Homer says no. And when they drive past the restaurant, we then see the next one is 25,000 miles away.
What is the circumference of the Earth? It's just occurred to me that's probably the circumference of the Earth or something.
That probably is like the only Flickies. Maybe that was the joke.
That would be the implication, is that to get to the next Flickies, you have to drive around the Earth.
40,000 kilometers.
24,859 miles. 25,000 miles.
Yeah, so
it is the only Flickies. You have to circumnavigate the Earth to get to the next one.
Well done, Simpsons. I now understand the joke.
That's actually very good. I like that
That's
now.
clever.
Then see the family drive up to a checkpoint for the fruit and vegetables. And Homer begins to panic as Marge says, we don't have any. And then Homer says the whole trunk is full of them.
So weird. What is this a reference to, man?
We then see Homer hold up his pamphlet. Homer holds up his pamphlet which says smuggled vegetables, the road to easy success. Squeaky voice teen asks if he's got any fruits and vegetables, which prompts Homer to panic and follow it through the checkpoint as squashes and tomatoes fall out of his boot. This eventually leads to the squeaky teen keep going, it happened again.
Why is there a fruit and veg checkpoint at a state border?
Because you wouldn't want to smuggle veggie across state borders.
I thought this was like them going to Canada, but then obviously the next scene kind of disproves that. So I was just very curious why there was a... I think, again, it's one of those for the bit. Like,
I assume so, yeah.
For the bit, but
as someone who's done an American road trip, they don't typically have any sort of checkpoint between states, right?
No, they don't.
No.
The only time we saw a checkpoint was when we were going into California for some reason.
Interesting.
Because it's so close to Mexico.
Oh, all right.
So it wasn't really a checkpoint between states. It was more just this is one of the only roads that you would go through if you were coming from like Mexico into California to the wider America, I guess. Because I remember they because obviously I'm fucking English, so there was a brief moment where we were like, oh shit, because you know what America's like at the moment. But they because the government had shut down at the time, they just like looked at the car, looked at us, and went, yeah, go on through. They were not getting paid, so they did not give a shit.
Government shut down quick, smuggle some veg.
I think I also told you we got into the Grand Canyon for free. Because
you did mention that one, yeah.
Nice. But we also didn't get to go through the Painted Desert because it had been shut down, so that was a shame.
They shut down the desert.
Yeah, the whole desert. You weren't allowed to go near it.
Good God.
Homer turns on the radio and we see that there's a big theme of the signs of evil.
Some other state is apparently big on evil, huh?
Judging by the possibility of what this state is, we'll get to it in a second. If they're passing, this might be a joke at Utah's expense. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, right.
Very heavily religious, very like, all they talk about is religion kind of thing. Might be a joke at Utah's expense. Maybe.
Well, sort of getting to that point. Let's see, the family makes a stop at the Five Corners where 5 different states touch.
So who else paused immediately and Googled this? Was it just me?
I contemplated doing it, but did not actually follow through on it. Where is this? Is this? I know there's 4 corners. Is there actually a 5 corners somewhere?
Well, exactly, because I Googled it because I knew that we were going to want to talk about the continued discussion of where the fuck is Springfield.
Peru.
So there is no 5 corners. There is a 4 corners.
Is there a 5 corners in Peru?
Maybe.
Did you check Peru?
I don't know if Peru has states. So we'll have to check. I actually accidentally wrote it as 4 cornets, so I like the idea that there's a place in America where you could get 4 cornetos.
Brilliant.
But anyway, there is the 4 Corners Monument, which is between Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah. So that gives a vague idea of where Springfield is, kind of. But we've always kind of thought that it is generally Midwest is America. So It's not like it's kind of like in the center
Or in Peru.
or in Peru.
Lisa eventually asks, "Have we stood in 5 states long enough?" And Homer goes, "No."
No, yeah, I thought this was because it is one of those things where it's like it is neat. Like if I'd gone to the Four Corners, I don't think Route 66 goes near it, but if we'd gone there, I would have been kind of like intrigued, but I would have been bored very quickly. But everyone knows they have at least one friend that would be fucking fascinated by the idea of being in 5 different states at once.
I have just pulled up the picture of the Four Corners Monument. It does look a lot like that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
It's just 5 corners instead of 4.
Yeah.
See the family driving at night now, and everyone is starting to feel a bit tired. Marge says they should find a motel, but Homer says he's not tired at all. In the next frame, we then see the car skid off the road into a pole and burst into flames.
Wow, glad that wasn't us.
The family have actually stopped at a motel and are looking down on the scene at the window.
Why does Marge never drive Homer's car?
Because it's Homer's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool. All right.
I don't know.
Sometimes you don't need
What
a complicated
stupid
answer.
fucking question, Matthew.
Maybe she's not insured on his car.
That's reasonable.
I don't know why,
maybe
like, as a
Mark-
family, you wouldn't set up your
Just
insurance so
swaps.
that people could drive it, but like maybe she's not insured to
Swapping
drive that
cars and
car.
whatever.
Maybe Marge
Yeah.
was drunk. You never know.
That does sound like Marge. She was probably fucking plastered and masturbating in the fucking front seat or whatever that freak was doing.
Thinking about Lee Majors.
Thinking about Lee Majors. Who isn't?
There.
I was reading Love in the Time of Scurvy.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry. Should I soothe you with some saxophone while you do it?
May I look at your bountiful bosom?
I'll look at John's bountiful bosom.
Well, who's not looking at John's bountiful bosom is Homer, who is getting confused by the map, so decides he's going to take a shortcut. And Homer assures Marge that you can't get lost with these modern cars because they've got silicone chips and such. He then drives off on a dirt road in a triumphant music playing in the background, and the next shot we see the family actually arrive, but the car has seen better days, which includes a US missile and a homecoming decoration banner in the background.
The back wheel has been replaced with a wagon wheel. There's like a school crossing sign attached to it.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't
Chickens
notice
are
the wagon wheel.
Chickens are coming out of Marge's hair.
Yep.
That's so good. This bit reminded me, weirdly enough, of just something from Spirited Away, the Studio Ghibli movie that has just stuck with me for years. In the dub, or the English dub of Spirited Away, when they're initially driving into the forest, the wife says, "I think we're lost," and the dad responds, "We're not lost. I have 4-wheel drive."
Right.
And that has always stuck with me because what the fuck? And it gave me very similar like vibes when Homer said that. I don't know why, but yeah, that bit has always just stuck with me for fucking years. We're not lost. I have 4-wheel drive. What does that mean?
Also, I would like to speculate about a potential reference in there. Is the wagon wheel an Oregon Trail thing? Is that what they're going for with that one?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Homer declares once they arrive, let's never speak of the shortcut again. So it obviously didn't go wrong. We then see the family have parked, and Homer tells everyone they're in the Itchy lot, which looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
There are
Scratchy
2
lot.
lots. They are massive. There is Itchy and Scratchy. Brilliant.
But then I'll go all Jurassic Park as a helicopter is taking them to the island, and the pilot says,
Yeah, I was very just like childishly. I was like, I understood that reference.
I did not pick up on that reference. Like my brain just went, that seems like a really inefficient way to get people into the park.
Yeah, I thought of that at first. Yeah, when I was like, wait, they just parked. Why are they now on a helicopter? And again, the answer is for the bit.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw the logo with Scratchy, I was
Oh,
like,
of course
hey,
it is.
Jurassic
Of
Park,
course,
yeah.
it's a Jurassic Park logo, right?
Yeah.
so the pilot just says that they're off to the amusement park where nothing can possibly go wrong.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Everyone looks
Possibly.
at themselves worried, and they goes, "Oh, possibly. Yeah, that's the first thing that's ever gone wrong."
Ever gone wrong. It's just his attitude. He's like, oh,
Well,
possibly go
something went
wrong. That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong. It's just so good. I don't know. That dude's delivery, whoever it is, fucking give him a fucking prize.
We then see the family at the entrance, and the theme of it is Itchy and Scratchy bonking themselves on the heads as the ticket booths are large bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that the rides out of action today include the Head Basher, the Bloodbath, and the Nurse's
The
Station.
nurse's station.
Homer asks for 1 adult and 4 children.
Yeah, I thought,
Blah, blah, blah.
yeah, that was funny.
And the the seller asks would he like to buy some Itchy and Scratchy money. And Homer asks what it is, and she says it works like regular money, but it's fun. So Homer is talked into doing it by Bart, and he gets $1,100 worth.
$1,100 worth, man. That's mad.
Well, Homer can do it on his nuclear technician salary.
Fair.
Well, we also established he does not get paid a lot last time, so...
Maybe he had a really short shift that day.
Yeah.
So Homer wumbles into the park and then realizes there's signs everywhere that say, "We do not take Itchy and Scratchy money."
Is this a reference to something? Because I don't.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't pay much attention when I went to theme parks as a kid, but I don't remember them ever offering like Disney books or Alton Towers.
Yes, they did.
books.
There were
Yeah,
Disney
Disney
dollars.
books
were definitely a
Disney
thing,
dollars was a thing that existed. They were discontinued far later than I sort of appreciated. I thought the gag was they'd already been discontinued by the time this episode came out. No,
Right.
Disney stopped distributing the currency in 2016. However, they will
Jesus.
still accept them in the future.
Fuck me,
Yeah.
that's bananas.
Disney dolls were created with anti-counterfeiting measures such as microprinting, reflective ink, and imprinting on the front and back of the bill because
That's
they thought
so
people
expensive.
would forge Disney dollars. What the fuck?
You can avoid people forging Disney dollars by not doing it.
But just taking money.
That is such a back-asswards way of solving a problem.
It's insane behavior.
This is probably why the signs went up.
Yes, yeah.
We then see that one of the places is called Tavern on the Screen, which has a giant axe that you've got to get past through to get through the door.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it comes down with some fucking welly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm being very British today.
Yeah. So Marge declares it such a violent motif. Bart says it's a pretend violence, which is beneficial for children. This leads to Bart and Lisa punching each other.
Which then isn't pretend violence.
Yeah, but it's The Simpsons, which is a TV show, so it is pretend violence. It's meta.
We then see a
How
park
clever.
manager go, "There's no need to murmur, because they're as concerned about violence as they are. That's why they're always careful to show the consequences of the mayhem." Marge then points out that she watched an episode where the Itchy pulled out Scratchy's lungs and played them like a bagpipe, and in the next scene he was perfectly fine. And
Just like in real life.
He then tells him to look over there and runs away.
Yeah, I love the noise you make. I
I-
just really appreciated that.
Then see the family are ordering dinner, and Bart asks for a brain burger with extra pus, and Homer asks for the eyeball stew, and Marge is embarrassed, but Bart points out that he was just ordering a cheeseburger because they have violent names for everything. Marge then orders the baby guts, and the waiter tells her Marge disgusts him, and Lisa has to point out that's veal.
Okay, so again, for the bit, but how the fuck did Madge not realize they were ordering food when she is holding the menu? And then, how did she not realize she was ordering veal when she was reading the menu? Why would she just order baby guts, not knowing what it actually fucking is?
I mean, again, for the bit, but also, like, I assume the menu's just not very explanatory, but then how do the kids know what the hell it is? So I don't know.
We then see Maggie dropped off at the daycare, and the woman assures Maggie that Maggie will have a good time, and Maggie is just put into a ballroom.
Babies love the ballroom.
They love the ballroom.
So Maggie is just put into the plastic balls and immediately
Just watching her
sinks through.
sink and then just like whack against the
Glass all over
glass was
babies.
so funny. Was Eyebrow Baby there as well? The unibrow
it
baby.
might.
Was it? Oh.
Was he there?
I don't know. I don't remember. I know there was a recognizable baby.
Homer's then excited because the 12 o'clock robot parade is on. He says, "We've got to hurry up or we'll miss the 12:05 parade." We then see what's happening, and the robots are having fun, smashing each other in ballots and machine guns in some case.
Has anybody seen Westworld? Can you guess
Yes.
what's happening in this episode?
It
Yeah.
is funnily enough, like you mentioned Westworld. Westworld was written by Michael Crichton. Michael
Yes.
Crichton also wrote Jurassic Park.
This is a very
Um,
Michael Crichton episode, yes.
When they
I hope he got
wanted to
commission for
make
this.
when they wanted to make Jurassic Park before the one we know and love, they realized they couldn't afford it, so they made Westworld instead. As far as I'm aware, it's partly because as well at the time everyone had kind of got on board with dinosaurs because dinosaurs were in like loads of wacky western. There was loads of western films, like westerns with dinosaurs for some reason. So they were like,
Westerns
"Nah,
with
dinosaurs."
What?
Yeah.
Well, dinosaurs were just massive in the early
Yeah,
90s.
so they- Yeah, so they were just like, Dinosaurs are kind of overplayed, so let's do something else. What else does Michael Crichton have that we could buy? So they bought Westworld instead, and then obviously years later they did Jurassic Park the way we know and love it. I keep meaning to read the original Jurassic Park because in that apparently John Hammond is way more of a dick. Because loads of people our age don't realize that John Hammond is the bad guy of Jurassic Park.
He was a friendly old man that just
he's a friendly old man. Yeah, no one realizes that he is ultimately the bad guy.
I mean, I think a lot of people were complicit in things, but sure.
That was the guy turning all the security systems off. I'd argue he was probably
he
slightly
also
more
yeah
to blame.
definitely
Nedry,
had-
yeah. Yeah, but Nedry wouldn't have done it if he'd just been paid well.
I think he was a dick.
Blame the rich for the actions.
I always do.
Blame the rich for the actions of the desperate. You can put that on a shirt. That's
Or
a good
undies.
line. Or a pair of undies.
Bart declares that this is so much like his dream as he's watching the parade take place. And the family are interested by the axes, and Lisa's particularly taken by the baby axe. And Marge says it's cute, but she's sure it's sharp and probably dirty. And the same guy from before shows up and goes, "It's dirty, yes, but dangerous, nope. These are state-of-the-art animatronic robots that are trained to attack each other, but not the guests." We then go all Terminator as we look inside Itchy's head, and it says to kill Scratchy, but to show off its circuitry to Homer. And Marge points out to Homer this is why his robot didn't work.
What robot? This bit just ends. What the fuck is she talking about? I need to know more. Why isn't there a flashback to explaining the robot?
No, this isn't Family Guy. You don't get a flashback.
No. Also, one of the things this kind of reminded me of, or made me think of, is it's kind of balmy that Five Nights at Freddy's took so long to exist when mascots have always been terrifying. And yet, it was only fucking whenever Five Nights at Freddy's first came about that anyone really did anything with that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone in the comments of this video that's extremely pedantic and just likes correcting me, please tell me where there's stories about evil mascots. And if you say it, I will stab you because that doesn't count.
We then see the family get onto the log flume, and Marge says this is what she was hoping for, spending the day together as a family. At that moment, there's this very steep drop, and then arrows and cannons start firing at the log flume.
That looks like I love a good roller coaster, but I feel like even I'd be a bit like, nah, I'm all right.
Yeah, that's a lot.
They stop just before spikes, before going down into the buzzsaw, which they just narrowly avoid.
Oh, the idea, like, again, yeah, like the sharp things near eyeballs. That's another thing that I'm just like, no, thank you. There's, if anyone, again, another like super niche reference for me. If anyone has seen Zombie 2, Zombi 2, you'll know what I'm talking about when sharp things near eyes. No, thank you.
This is enough to prompt Marge that part of spending time as a family is spending time apart. At which point Homer takes that to reference Parent Island. So Marge asks the kids if they're going to be alright, but then the kids have vanished because they're getting back onto the log flume.
There's a lot of like good noises in this episode. Like again, the guy running a yay, and then but when the kids get on the thing again, they make like little happy giggles as well.
Like
yeah, there's a lot of like good little just I don't know what you'd call them, but just like burps and stuff throughout this. That's quite fun.
Yeah. We then see that Homer and Marge are now on Parents Island, which includes going to Itchy's 70s Disco, which was established in 1980, apparently. And Homer says it's like the 70s down to the smallest detail, which includes the bartender looking like John Travolta. We then see the bartender go, yeah, looks like.
Poor Travolta.
Which also, this episode came out like just a few days before Pulp Fiction.
Wow. And they obviously didn't have a great deal of faith in him.
Like a week and a half after the episode aired, Pulp Fiction came out and revitalized his career because actually he hadn't been doing terribly well at that point.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, that's great.
See the kids in the gift shop, and Bart starts looking through the personalized plates. He starts trying to find his name, but when he gets to Bert, it immediately goes into Bort. Bort. You don't see a kid run up.
I literally have that license plate. I have the Bort license plate.
Amazing.
I think we got that for you as a Christmas present, didn't we?
Yes.
Come on, Bort. You talking to me? No. My son is also named Bort.
There's a lot of Borts in this shop. Lisa then asks who these characters are, and Bart says there was an Itchy and Scratchy's Friends Hour, and goes through the friends that they created, which includes Disgruntled Goat, Uncle Anton, Ku Klux Klam.
Ku Klux Klan, man. Jesus.
Lisa says they weren't very funny, but Bart goes, Disco does go at his moments.
What's this
Sounds like
bit?
it.
This just felt padded. It was like what?
I
don't
think
know.
it's kind of a reference to. I'm trying to think of what was out at the time, but I know like the Muppets did similar things. Tom and Jerry tried to introduce new characters. Maybe it's a Looney Tunes reference.
There were a lot of, and I remember this specifically in Cartoon Network because I did watch it as a kid. There were a lot of attempts to have like kid versions of like the adult things. So they had like Tiny Toons and Scooby Doo investigations and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm fine
maybe.
with them like doing the gag of they added extra characters, but then like the extended discussion between Bart and Lisa about how good the extra characters were just seemed unnecessary.
It all leads up to a man in an Itchy costume coming and dancing, and Bart just immediately stomps the hell out of his foot.
A poor guy.
Seemed a bit harsh.
Yeah, just a bit.
So we cut to TGI's McScratchy's Good Time Food Drinkery,
Sure.
which has a New Year's Eve theme every day apparently, and we see Old Lang Syne start to play, and Marge asks the waiter that it must be wonderful to ring in the new year over and over. His response to this is, "Please kill me."
That
Apparently
would
this
be
was a real
fucking
thing.
soul crushing.
Oh yeah,
Seriously?
yeah. Like, I wrote down service jobs as soul crushing. But yeah, no. Apparently, the Pleasure Island at Walt Disney World had a New Year's Eve every night from 1990 through till 2005.
Why though? Why? Why would you want to pretend it's New Year's Eve?
Because it's isn't it? Because it's wonderful to ring in the new year every single day.
Is it
Powerful.
though?
Marge thinks it is.
Marge is a fucking idiot.
I don't think I've had a memorable New Year in about 5 years, if I'm honest.
I've done fuck all for most of my New Year's.
We then cut to the Itchy's Minefield, which was sponsored by Laramie Cigarettes.
Seriously, Simpsons must be sponsored by Laramie at this. They couldn't get away with doing this.
Laramie didn't
they
exist by the time this existed, though, did it?
Would Laramie like disappeared?
I can't remember. It was a while ago when
Laramie
we first looked it
Cigarettes.
up. But
We've already Googled this at one point. haven't we?
1950s, yeah.
yeah,
Damn,
so
okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
they'd been gone for like 40 years by the time Simpsons started using it. They're not promoting
crazy.
anything.
The kids having the time of their life being blown up into the air. As they leave, Bart attacks the Scratchy costume man by kicking him in the shin, which is very nice.
Yeah,
Is
what a
it?
dick.
Well, there's a plot point to this. There's a payoff, don't worry.
It's a plant.
We then see that Maggie's trying to claw through the balls of the babies, and
The babies don't seem happy. Add more balls.
yep, that's the solution that the women running this daycare decide, and we then just see the babies being buried by more balls.
Babies love the ball pit.
Babies
They'd
love
love
the
it more
ballroom.
when there's more balls. Obvious logic.
Yep, so Bart and Lisa are now watching the Roger Myers story, and the narrator describes him as a gentle
This
genius
was
that loved
so
all
incredibly on the nose. I don't know
Yes.
if there is a more on the nose Simpsons bit.
It's not very subtle, this bit. But it explains how he loved all the peoples of the world, and they in turn, he was beloved.
No.
Except it-
He loved almost all the
Oh,
people. Almost. That was
Yeah,
gen-
the
like,
almost is good.
Despite this being so fucking on the nose, that bit, it took a second for it to click, but when it did, that was so fucking funny. The almost bit was great.
He was beloved by the world, except in 1938 for his controversial cartoon, Nazi Supermen Are Our Superiors.
Oh no,
Oh,
man, that
fucking
was
hell.
so grim. Fucking hell.
I did spend a while reading through Walt Disney on Wikipedia
Oh,
after this. I gather a lot of the allegations of Nazism are not particularly well backed up, actually. A lot of it's just some guy who didn't like him very much tried slandering him.
Yeah, as I was thinking that, I know he was like kind of a racist, but more in that sense of like everyone was at the time. Not that that makes it okay, but that he wasn't particularly vehement about it, nor was he, in any way progressive,
Yeah, like the only thing Wikipedia particularly cites of any like note was really that he gave a tour of his studio to a prominent Nazi propagandist about a month after Kristallnacht.
Right, okay.
So, other than that, it's kind of like
I think we can all agree
actually
that
isn't that much.
Walt Disney probably wasn't an awesome dude. But yeah, I don't know. It's very, very odd bit.
People can be complicated. I mean,
It
is the
sounds
best way
like
to
he
phrase it.
just like wasn't interested in politics at all. He's just extremely apolitical. He's like, look, I want to make cartoons. Nazis? Yeah, I guess that's happening. Sure.
Speaking of, can we all agree that Fantasia was awesome?
Yes.
Oh yeah, no,
yes.
it's amazing.
Fantasia was rad, man.
And Scratch Tasia is interesting.
Yeah, it was insanely well animated. It's like better animated than most of The Simpsons.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes. I thought this is amazingly detailed. And
Yeah, it's like
animated.
like double the frame count. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, this is like 2 solid good minutes of Scratchy the Wizard having to deal with Itchy and then mini Itchies and then having to pulverize them into literal vapor.
I'm one of the reasons I'm kind of curious why it might have been Scratchy in this situation instead of Itchy is because if it had been a mouse in that outfit, they couldn't have done the bit. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. That's just probably why they did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. They could have had the idea of loads of tiny Itchies inside Scratchy the whole time and run with it, but I'd be willing to like put money that they thought, yeah, we have to have Scratchy.
Quite possibly, yes.
Yeah, we have to do it this way because otherwise it is straight up copyright infringement.
It basically ends with the Itchies going inside the Scratchy and Scratchy falling apart from the inside out.
Yeah, it was violent. Never mind, yeah, there was more violence in the show.
We then see outside that Cletus is taking a photo of the crazy critters, which is his way of speaking about the robots, which causes one of the Scratchy robots to crash out as the manager goes, "No flash photography, please," as the discordant Scratchy walks away.
We still don't know him as Cletus yet. He's still just a yokel. But
Yeah, he's
like
described as a
yokel.
yokel. We then see that Roger Meyer's next thing was Pinnicchio, and Scratchy with a great Italian accent goes, "Now you'll be a good Pinnicchio, and don't tell you lie." Itchy promises never to hurt him, which of course makes his nose grow, which takes Scratchy's eyeball out.
Yeah.
I did appreciate the ouch.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
This point, Lisa wonders if this kind of violence desensitizes them, which causes the robot
The
Scratchy
robot
to crash
fucking comes through and they're just like completely unfazed. It was great.
Yep. They want to go get a snow cone. And as they leave the theatre, Bart sees another man in an itchy suit and goes, "Ah, so you think you're God's gift to women, do you?"
That was
Oh, what?
what a
weird.
weird thing to say.
Lisa tries to talk him out of it, but Bart pulls out his little bastard travelling kit and fires a stink bomb into the Itchy's thing, and Itchy just says, "I wanted to entertain."
Yeah, I only wanted to entertain.
Bart is laughing because he can't wonder how he keeps getting away with this until a uniformed officer has finally nabbed him.
Again, very on the nose.
Yes, yeah. I mean, given the whole sort of Nazi illusions earlier, yes, but also this also just kind of comes
Clearly
across
a
as
Bond
bit.
reference.
I thought it was all a Bond reference, but also either Simpsons Archive or Wikipedia reckoned it was a Star Wars.
No,
They said
no.
they said the little cart that they take him through is like from Star Wars, but I thought it looked like the volcano lair from You Only
I
Live
don't
Twice.
recall. It's been a while since I watched the original trilogy, but no, this is a Bond reference. This is a Bond reference.
I thought it was.
Yeah,
Either
there's
way.
nah, it's not Star Wars. Nah, fuck off. Fuck off. Wikipedia.
Either way, Bart is taken away by the guards in his electronic cart. He passes the control center, which includes tips of, "We've got another jumper on the roof of TIGI's Scratchies, and we have run out of board license plates."
Yeah, I repeat. So good.
Oh, I found. Sorry, it said the vehicle that they take Bart in is the same sound that one of the ground shuttles carrying the fighter pilots in the Rebel base in Star Wars makes.
Right, okay, so it's the same sound effect. Yeah, the overall aesthetic was very Bond to me. It wasn't,
Yes, it is Bond villain lair shit. Yeah.
We then also see one of the robots being repaired as his face is pulled off. The guy goes, "I really
wish they
wouldn't
wouldn't scream. That is so good.
Bart is thrown into the cell, and we see that Homer's already in it, and Bart asks what he's doing there, and Homer says he kicked one of the stupid Itchies in the butt. And Bart's response is, "Yeah, there's just no way to resist, is there?" We don't see Marge in the gift shop, and she wants 5 t-shirts that say "Best Vacation Ever." Then the announcer comes up with a tannoy to say, "Marge Simpson, your son has been arrested." This prompts all the women to go, "Ooh, I'd be embarrassed if I was that boy's
I'd be
mother."
so embarrassed.
And then the announcer comes back on to say, "Marge, we've also arrested your older, fatter son."
Older, bolder, fatter son.
We don't see Marge led into the cell, and Marge says she's so embarrassed. She wishes there was a hole that she could just crawl into and die. At which point the
Okay,
officer's grabbed her by the arm.
hole.
Marge has to point out it was a figure of speech, and then we see that Professor Frink runs in and says that everyone's got to listen to it because of elementary chaos theory. Says that all robots will eventually turn evil and run amok.
Yeah, I liked the chaos theory because that's clearly again a Jurassic Park reference.
Is it? Oh, okay.
The pair of how long they have, and Professor Frink says they've got about 24 hours. The robots then immediately start attacking everyone, and Frink goes, "Oh, I forgot to carry the one."
Have I misunderstood? So because I'm trying to remember the advert at the beginning. Was this the first? Was this opening day?
Yeah, it was the opening day or the opening weekend.
Okay, right. Okay, so the 24 hours bit does make sense. Right. Okay, fine. That's fine. I remember being confused at the time.
Outside, Homer's protesting that he was the political prisoner, and Marge asks how, and he goes, "I kicked a giant mouse in the butt. Do I have to throw you a dag?"
It's so strange. And yeah, then Westworld begins.
Yep, the power goes off, and Marge says, "What now?" And then we see some of the robots coming, and they start walking towards the family. Homer says, "Hey, that one's coming on to me," and starts flirting with him.
Yeah, why, Homer? Why?
At which point, Lisa finally points out that he thinks he's wrong about the robots trying to be his friend, and Homer says, "Don't contradict your elders," while he has to duck every single word.
It's so good.
Homer's hair then gets cut off, and Homer goes, "Ah, you chopped off my hair. Oh, God,
I'm ugly."
And then Marge laments the fact that it should have gone to the bird sanctuary. We cut to the bird sanctuary, then see the absolute chaos is going on because the birds somehow got out.
The plot of Hitchcock's The Birds is happening at the bird sanctuary, yes.
Yep.
Including the shot that we get.
I need your biggest seed bell that you have. No, that's too big.
Good on Hans Moorman for trying to sort the situation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so 3 memes in this one episode.
It is, yeah.
It's impressive.
Fantastic.
Family notice a chopper, but unfortunately, the man in the itchy suit is in there, and he goes, "Ah, you didn't like our capering. When you get to hell, tell them that Itchy sent you," and kicks them out of the helicopter. That plot worked itself out.
Yep.
Marge declares that it looks like they're doomed, and Homer says, tells the robots to get back because no one ruins his family vacation except him, and maybe the boy.
And maybe the boy.
This whole ending felt very Treehouse of Horror to me.
Yeah,
like,
it did.
Yeah, a
it
little
was
bit.
like, this doesn't belong in this episode, I'm sure.
Homer starts throwing everything in his pockets at the robots, which include a banana.
I fucking cackled when he rips his own underwear off. It's from the front. Just, I'm surprised they didn't put in a little like scream when he did it. Just a little like, ah! And then no, it's so good.
Homer's MeUndies don't save him, unfortunately. But
No.
what does?
Well,
is
if they
his
were
camera.
MeUndies, they wouldn't tear because they're made of micromodal fabric.
You sure you're not secretly taking sponsorships behind our backs?
I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you were. But what does save the family is the camera. As the flash goes off and causes the robots to collapse. And Lisa points this out, and Homer's response is, "Why are you the
Why are
narrator?"
you the narrator? That was good. I liked that.
This prompts Lisa to say, "Start taking pictures," and as Homer starts taking pictures, Bart grabs a mallet and goes, "I'll get more cameras." He breaks the windows and gets some cameras,
Smashy,
and
smashy.
then loots the next shop, which Marge goes, "Well, I don't approve of that."
Sure.
It's fair.
The family get their cameras and start taking photos, and Bart does his best Schwarzenegger by going, "Hey, mouse, say cheers."
Say cheers.
And Bart's response to this is, "With dry, cool wit like that, I could be an action hero." We then see that the robots all fall down, and we then see Homer climbing onto the top of the pile of robots going, "Die, bad robots, die!" Homer's about to make the same line, but Bart cuts him off and says, "Who would have thought this would be our best vacation ever?" Marge then points out that they almost got killed and all the embarrassment, but Lisa then points out that she got exactly what she wanted because it brought them together as a family, lots of exercise outdoors, and so many memories. Marge decides that Lisa is right and does declare it the best vacation ever,
And
but then says, "Let's never speak
again.
of it again." Roger Myers Jr. shows up, and to show his gratitude, he gives them 2 free passes. Homer points out there's 5, and Roger Myers goes, "Here's
2 free passes.
That's better.
Dr. Fink is standing over the robots, and he wonders to himself what's going on in Euro Scratchy Land, which we then see is completely empty.
Yeah.
love this.
Fuck all is the answer.
The only thing there is a Frenchman on the booth going, "Hello, Itchy Scratchy Land."
Who are you
Please-
to resist?
Please.
Come on, my last paycheck bounced. My children need wine.
My children need wine.
Which is
Love
the
that
greatest
so
line.
much.
Does he actually speak French? Does he actually
Yeah, he
speak
does-
French in this moment?
Yeah, he speaks French at the end, but he's just cursing his look, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I was hoping Frinkiac would have a transcript of that so that I could like see what it says, but it also just says yelling in French.
Yelling in French.
I don't know if Simpsons Archive has the transcript better and actually like tells you what he says, but
I don't have it, I'm afraid.
oh, fine, never mind. That is obviously a reference to Euro Disney, which was not a commercial success till they rebranded it as Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
Mm.
We don't go back to the Simpsons at home, and Marge hopes that the kids have learned that violence on TV may be funny, but it's not so funny when it happens to you. Bart says it's funny. It would be funny to someone who was watching, and Marge doesn't agree, but Lisa goes, no, he's right, takes off her shoe, hits Bart in the head with it. Marge starts laughing hysterically,
Yeah.
and sort of realizes what's just happened and goes, oh, Lisa, go to your room. And Lisa just awkwardly walks to her room, and that's
With
that.
one shoe.
Yeah, so,
And
What
that's
do we
Itchy and
think?
Scratchy Land.
yeah.
That's Itchy and Scratchy Land.
What do we think?
I think it's a great episode. I think it's very fun. You know, it's very easy watching. It absolutely flew by, despite being another long episode. We haven't had a normal length episode in a while. They've all been like long in some shape or form. But yeah, absolutely blasted by. Great episode.
John?
I thought it was merely fine. I was okay. One of my notes halfway through it was this chuckle-worthy at best. Like there were no big laughs on it. It wasn't like,
Damn.
yeah, I didn't think it was an incredible episode. I didn't think it was a bad episode at all. But like, it's just the memes were the most noteworthy thing about it, really, for me.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the strongest episode of the season so far.
Well, we're only 4 episodes in. It's not got a lot of
Well,
competition.
I'm not
yet.
gonna- I'm not
And
gonna- I'm
one
not
of them
gonna-
was a
okay.
clip show. It's got low competition.
I know, but I enjoyed the episode. There's the moments that made me laugh did make me laugh,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I agree with you on the sound effects. There was some great noise. There's some great noises going on in here.
Mhm.
What we're learning is that me and Michael are just very simple creatures.
Just
Someone
give me
just
a-
has to go, yeah, and well, we're sorted.
Just give me a poor Italian accent to the cat getting impaled through the eye with a nose, and he goes, "Ouch!" And I will find that really funny.
Yep.
I mean, I like a French accent, so the guy at the end entertained me.
My children need the wine.
My children need wine. It's just, I love that. I knew that line somewhere that was lodged in my brain, but I had forgotten it until he said it. I was like, oh my god, I know that line.
We swear we're not. We swear we're not all inclusive podcast, folks.
It's the John meme. That's John's personal meme.
Yeah, apparently so. Have we got any ratings for it?
I'll give it a not quite Fantasia out of Homer.
Ooh, god, that sounds quite a high rating, huh?
Well, I said not quite.
You rated
I'm getting-
Fantasia quite highly, so it sounds like it's up there.
Eh.
I'm gonna give it a bought license plate out of Homer. I want it, but I don't necessarily need it.
Fine. I give it so many memories out of Homer because of how meme-tastic it was.
Memories.
What did it have to say about society?
I mean, I think it definitely makes a lot of jokes about our like hyper consumerism culture, because obviously it's a theme park kind of episode, so that's just like a natural given. The older generation's resistance to change with all the whole like 70s and New Year's like parent island kind of thing, and then the jokes about technology eventually killing us used to be cute and funny, and now they're just kind of sad because oh fuck, the world we live in.
We're at that
I mean,
point,
I think
folks.
the main theme of it was the cartoon violence because they talked about it on a couple of occasions. I don't know if they necessarily like concluded anything about it. They're like, "Hey, does this desensitize us?"
Yeah.
And oh, violence is good for kids. Wait, is it good for kids? Don't worry about it. Look behind you.
Yay.
Yay. Yep.
We're gonna get that to put on a t-shirt. Oh, me,
What, just
me undies.
yang?
Yeah.
How do you spell that? NGYIIIIN.
Put it on a soundboard for you if you want.
Absolutely. Michael, anything to say about society?
No, I think we've kind of covered most of it. It's just violence in the media is going to be interpreted in many different ways, and it can be desensitizing.
Yes. And robots will kill us,
Eventually, yes.
according to elementary chaos theory.
And if Fox says your show's too violent, tell them to fuck themselves and make it violent anyway.
Yep.
Give them no choice in the matter.
Tell Fox to fuck
literally.
themselves regardless.
Yeah, that's a good attitude to take. Mhm.
Oh, if you follow the advice in the next episode, whoop loudly.
I what? I forget that bit, apparently.
We'll get there.
Okay. So, speaking of the next episode, we have a Sideshow Bob episode. We've got Sideshow Bob Roberts,
Hooray!
which is itself a reference to the movie Bob Roberts, not one I'm familiar with.
No, me neither. Don't worry, I'm sure someone in the comments will be very upset that we haven't seen it.
I don't know.
This is Matt's next forfeit film.
It made $8 million at the box office. It doesn't sound like it was a smash hit.
Ah.
So I don't think we can
I think we're set.
necessarily be heavily criticised for having not seen it.
Shall we? What day did that air?
Oh, that's a good question. That aired on October 9th, 1994.
Right.
What happened on that day?
The Australian parliamentary election. It's 23% for right.
I'm fascinated by this because, like, yeah, there's very little actually down for anything happening on this day, and I saw that, and I tried to dig into that. I can't find any evidence of it. Oh, I tell you what it is. I looked up Australia. It says Austrian. It's Austrian parliamentary election.
you're
That's why I couldn't find
wrong
any information.
country.
Wrong country.
Oops. Fucking
Whoops.
oops.
Yeah, no, there wasn't an election in Australia on that day because that's not what this is telling me. Damn it! Why do they name countries so similar?
You're the smart one of this
I dispute that.
show. Well, it's not fucking me, is it?
If you're not the smart one, this podcast is in trouble.
Oh no. Oh no. Michael's fucking savage today.
Well, the men are still strangling the life out of culture in America because they're still number one.
Who's strangling the life out of culture in the UK?
Well, it's not Wigfield anymore. They've been deposed by Take That.
Oh, for
Hey.
fuck's sake.
So, the song is Sure. I don't know that one off the top of my
I
head.
don't
but,
know that one.
The rabid fandom of Take That scares me.
All you need to know is that the rise of Robbie Williams is here.
Good old Robbie. I like Robbie. He's
Does Take That have a rabid fandom?
Dude, do you like go outside?
The only fandoms that scare me are BTS and Taylor Swift.
Is BTS a K-pop band?
They're a K-pop band, yes.
Fuck's sake. K-pop fans in general scare me.
Yeah.
The music's fine. I just have no, like, I don't know. They're fine. They're fine. It all sounds exactly the same. I know that makes me sound a bajillion years old, but it all sounds the
Okay,
fucking same
K-pop
to me.
stands, go get him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking come
Matt's
at me,
cancelled.
K-pop stands.
The opinions of
Read it.
Matt are not shared by the Mole Man in the Morning podcast. Go get
I've
him.
listened to AKB43. I'm hip. I'm with it.
Before we begin, if you are an American listening to our podcast, then you might be of a conservative opinion or mindset. Might be an
Lick
idea
my
to stop.
balls.
Lick our
Again.
balls and then go away.
Yeah. If you are an American conservative, please. Nah, I mean, I will preempt this with a joke because Americans don't understand what sarcasm is. But yeah, go die in a fire.
I would hope, for the most part, if you have previously listened to this podcast or followed any of us on social media, you've probably worked out where our
We're all pretty
political
left
leanings
wing.
are going to be. So just maybe don't subject yourself to this.
Yeah, this
I
episode
don't know. I feel like
was.
this episode does some good digs at left wing politics as well. I think.
They do throw some jabs both ways. Yes, it is. I think it's more jabs at conservatism, but yeah, they try to be balanced.
Oh no, I don't think
A
they try
bit.
to be balanced. I think they just also do jabs at left wing. But it is very clearly, it very clearly has like a specific leaning.
Yes, we go straight into this.
Yeah, there is
Yeah,
nothing. It's
holy
The
shit, yeah.
Simpsons. Bam, we're in. That's it. You're done.
Just fucking. This is Simpsons now.
No chalkboard, no couch, nothing.
According to this, they did do the floating eyes bit.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, the
But
original
apparently
airing only. Yeah,
It's never appeared in any repeat.
That's
wild.
very odd.
Okay.
That's very odd.
So we start with the outside shot of the KBBL radio station, which has its nice jingle. No spots, no rock, no information for mindless chatter. We're your station.
I mean, that's kind of a station I'd want right now. In this modern era where everything is a 24-hour rage bait cycle, I would kind of love a 24-hour radio station where they're just like, so what's your favorite type of pizza, man? And then they just talk about pizza for 2 hours.
You're talking about podcasts. We are making that content.
No, we're not. I literally just told conservatives to go die 5 minutes ago.
I mean, podcasts are mostly mindless chatter.
Yeah, that's fair.
But also, like, if you're genuinely dying for a radio station that does that, you got Radio 4.
You listen to the Archers.
I don't think I've ever listened to Radio 4.
Radio 4 is chatter. There's a lot of chatter. They do chatter.
I love mindless chatter.
They do radio plays. They do talk shows, I guess. Yeah, discussions. There's people talking.
I love people talking. Anyway, let's talk.
Well, this is not what we're getting, because they've got Springfield's favourite conservative and author of the well-selling book, Only Turkeys Have Left Wings.
Yes.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means you're a turkey if you follow left-wing politics.
Yeah.
Carl's not very happy because he thinks Barlow's a right-wing crackpot because apparently Ted Kennedy lacks integrity. And Lenny considers himself politically correct and his views make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, see, this is what I meant about like the jabs at left-wing people, is because when those jokes came through, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this episode, but no, they do have there's a lot of jabs at right wing, but there are some good. That is accurate that a lot of left-wing people, especially people that I know, that sounds like I'm talking about people on the show. I'm not. But there are left-wing people that are just like, no, I don't like hearing right-wing people talk at all and will not listen to them. It's like, all right, well, that doesn't sound like a great way to have a fucking discussion, does it?
Okay, but counterpoint, like a lot of right-wing discussion is just in bad faith and lies and slander. So, like, I don't know, do you want to, like, inflict that psychic damage on yourself? I don't blame anybody for not wanting to do so.
No, of course not. But if you want to discuss politics, you have to discuss both sides.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole, you have to engage with people who aren't prepared to engage in bad faith. And it's like, do we? Can we not just, like, cut them out of the discussion entirely?
Yes.
But then you get
Yes,
cancel
we do.
culture.
No, it's not even that. It's just, we don't want to. No, I'm not. This episode is already too long. I'm not getting into this.
This is going to be. If this is a long one, this is a long one. We're going to be talking about American politics, which is unfortunate relevant in the year of our Lord 2026. So this is probably going to be an episode to discuss. So
fine. Either end of the spectrum, either completely left wing or right wing, either side, you end in fascism. So in order to ideally find a good conversation, you have to listen to other people's views. If they are in bad faith, then they are in bad faith. That's the end of it. But I
would argue one side of the political spectrum engages in bad faith considerably more than the other, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. But no matter what, if you keep going further and further left wing, you end up in fascism. If you keep going further and further right wing,
a lot of the far right strategy is the flood the zone with shit thing, which is just throw out so many lies and bad faith arguments that everybody's forced to engage with that you can't actually keep track of what's actually going on and what's actually serious and what you should be like actually tackling and dealing with, and they can just get away with everything, and it's working, so you don't have to engage with everything, you can just ignore them.
As we are seeing, that is creeping into British politics.
Hey, I told everybody to vote in Gorton and Denton, and they did. Greens fucking won. If you put out a good policy of hope and better things are possible, people will fucking vote for it. Just saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
To our viewers, you can vote for whoever you want.
As long as it's Green Party.
I mean, as long as it's just not the fucking Conservatives or Reform or whatever.
Or all of the other splinter groups that are fracturing off.
But that's the thing. Keep splintering. Keep doing it.
Oh,
yeah. If you want your vote and you're all fucked.
Yeah, split the right. I'd love to do that. Yeah, keep splitting. Keep doing that. Yeah.
I just find it quite fascinating how it seems to work with the right, where they go really, really right wing at the start. And then they realise that nobody knows how to actually run a country or have any sort of policy, so they have to start going moderate, which upsets all the massive racists and
well,
that's the problem, though, isn't it? Is like the people, the actual like mouthpieces in right wing politics aren't in it for politics. They're in it for power.
Oh,
They're not in it to make a better world. They're in it to fucking gain power. I'm sure there's some left-wing politicians that are just in it for power. But, that none of them know how to run a country because none of them are interested in running a country.
Mm-hmm.
we see that Homer is not very political, but in fact, he thinks people who vote are a bit fruity.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. I think they did a good job of like immediately then making a joke on right-wing vote or like Republican voters specifically, that it's not that they don't think themselves politically minded, they just vote Republican because they've always voted Republican, but they do have like pretty regressive views. But then we'll say, they'll call someone the N-word in public and then say, oh, but I'm not political. So it's like, disagree there.
Mm-hmm.
But Homer thinks that Birch Barlow really speaks to him. We then see probably the reason for this is because Birch Barlow is just scoffing donuts at his end.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Birch begins with his fellow freedom likers, and it is as right-wing conservative as you can expect. He says, we're not going to get rid of 3 things here in Springfield. One is the bats in the library, and we cut immediately to a man being attacked by bats in the library. Mrs. McFeely's compost heap, which we see is quite large, and she's holding a shotgun just in case.
As she said, it's a mighty fine compost heap.
Yep. And we see that the third thing is the 6th term, illiterate, tax-cheating, wife-swapping, pot-smoking, spendocrat, Diamond Joe Quimby.
So is this implying that Quimby is a Democrat?
Yes, very much so, yes.
Okay.
Quimby takes offense to this by going, I am not illiterate.
Yeah, I'm no longer illiterate.
It should be noted up top here that the Birch Barlow is a parody of specifically Rush Limbaugh, but you could be forgiven for thinking it's any far-right pundit that's popped up because they just keep appearing like fucking Hydra heads these days.
We basically see that he's continuing his rant, and we see that Lisa's listening to this in the Simpsons kitchen, and Lisa says she's doing a report on local politics for the school project. Bart gets upset by this and says, you think you're so big because your class is always doing projects, and Bart says he's doing a school project on fireworks. This upsets Marge, that says, I wish you wouldn't lie like that, and destroys his fireworks. We then go to the next scene, and Bart actually was doing a school project for fireworks for the Chinese principals who were about to leave, so Bart was going to do a fireworks display.
Inside!
Yep. So Bart gets his F, and the Chinese principals are upset, going, oh, bad student. No, bad principal, which Skinner is very pissed about.
Keep in mind that I think it's funny that they're taking the mickey out of right-wing Republican voters and stuff like that, and then they do a pretty stereotypical accent for the Chinese people, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, we have talked about cultural sensitivities.
I mean,
yes.
I could, because again, I think when we talked about it as well, it was very clear that we have differing opinions on it, because I don't think it is inherently racist to do those kind of accents. I think there is a time and a place, and I think it can be done in a way that is still humorous without clearly being like, lol, that's what they're like kind of thing. But it is still funny that, they chose to do that during this episode.
We then cut to Bart and Lisa in the car, and Lisa's sick of listening to Birch Barlow, but Homer points out that he's driving the car, so he gets to choose the radio station, and Lisa can trick the radio station when she's driving the car. We then cut to the next scene. We then cut to the next scene, and Lisa's now driving the car while Elmer's fire is on. Because I've had enough of this. Let's switch back.
So strange.
So we see that Birch Barlow's back on as Homer's now driving the car, and Birch has his first caller, which is Bob from South Springfield, and we see that this is obviously Sideshow Bob on the phone.
It's kind of interesting that they had Kelsey Grammer do this, because obviously they did it because it's Sideshow Bob, but Kelsey Grammer is also a Republican.
Yeah, that did surprise me as well. I was like, he was quite open about his politics, and like he was frequently like held up as one of the few like openly Republican actors in Hollywood, and for him to be like doing an episode that like is most prominently punching in the direction of the Republicans seems surprising a little.
Because keep in mind that a lot of Republicans don't care more about personal gain than they do their own politics.
This is true.
He did this episode because he was getting paid, not because
that is true.
He didn't fucking care that they're making fun of Republicans. He didn't give a shit because he's also a wife beater. So fuck that guy. I used to respect
Absolutely.
you, so fucking lick my balls.
Sideshow Bob starts talking about it's time people realise that conservatives were not Johnny Hate Mongers, Charlie Bible Thumps, or George Bushes.
Yeah,
Which point
they
Lisa
just end it with "Oh, George Bush."
Lisa finally works out that Sideshow Bob, and Homer kind of plays it off like, "Oh yes, Sideshow Bob yakking up on the old jackbox." Lisa then says she was sparing the embarrassment of not admitting he does as Sideshow Bob is, and Homer's relieved by this. We then get a bit of a flashback of which is the basic cliff notes of who Sideshow Bob is, which includes
For viewers who haven't seen previous episodes as well.
Which includes the exact year they framed Krusty for
Yeah, I like that they point out that it happened in 1990, but then don't acknowledge the fact that no one has aged.
Yeah, I
quite
noticed that it does imply the passage of time, but yeah, then Lisa would be 12.
Yeah.
Acknowledge this, please.
Homer's
Nope.
response to this explanation is, "Oh, Sideshow Bob."
Sideshow Bob.
This leads Lisa going into Bart's room and telling Bart that his mortal enemy is on the radio. And then we see that
This bit, I don't know why I fucking cackled at this bit. It's so fucking stupid.
it's time for some dementia with Dr. Demento. At which point Bart throws his radio out of the window.
It's so weird.
He's credited as himself. Like Dr. Demento is credited on this episode, but also I assume this is just like they sampled his radio show for it.
Yeah,
Surely they didn't get him in the
funny.
studio to say that.
So Lisa points out she meant his other mortal enemy, Sideshow Bob. But
I'm
Bart's depressed because
10
he's
already,
he's
I have
got
two mortal
two mortal
enemies.
enemies.
Do any of you feel like you have a mortal enemy or a nemesis?
I've had people not like me, but I don't think they sit awake at night thinking they're going to kill me. So, no, and I haven't sat there thinking, "Oh, I hope that person dies."
John, how many people have you pissed off?
Personally,
Yes.
I don't think I got a mortal enemy. I don't think so.
So I just gotta write a quick note. Be meaner to John. Right, cool. Sorry, what were we doing?
Making mortal
We're-
enemies?
We're griping at the mayor.
Okay, continue.
So we see that Mayor Quimby is with several elderly people at the old folks' home, and he's saying that the expressway will bring commerce to the local merchants, and Abe goes, "What's in it for us?" And Jasper threatens to ride him out of town on a rail.
I appreciated this bit because it is like that. A lot of politicians cater to the old, but then the old only give a shit about what benefits them, which blows my fucking mind.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
we love
very
our
blunt on the
grandkids.
nose. Yeah.
No, we love our grandkids. It's like, well, why don't you want them to be able to afford a fucking house, Grandad?
Because that's not what old people like. They like sleep and sexy names. And
Plenty of
mad luck.
Matlock. I mean, admittedly, I like two of those things.
Matlock.
Matlock and more Matlock.
Well, you would have voted for Quimby because Quimby decides to name the new expressway the Matlock Express.
Could he
Which,
legally
yeah.
do that?
I think
Why?
so.
Like,
Why
would he?
not?
Well, would he actually have to get confirmation with the company that own the network that owns Matlock in order to name it the Matlock Expressway?
I don't know. I mean, like, presumably they would be happy at free advertising, but also, like, streets are named after things all the time, and I don't know that you necessarily need to get people's permission. Like,
I
there's
don't know. Yeah.
I think it depends what it is, I think.
there's literally a street in York that's like Dame Judi Dench Street or something. I don't think they asked her permission before they did it.
I don't know. That's the thing. That's what I'm interested in. I'm usually more interested in stuff like that than I am politics. Because that's interesting to
I
me.
think if it's not slanderous or you're not making money off it, then you're probably going to be all right, I would have thought.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's interesting.
Mm.
We don't see that Bart is now listening to Birch Barlow on his headphones in class, and how no one has noticed Bart is wearing not wearing
Yeah, they
headphones
really
is
had to
beyond me.
stretch. They really had to stretch the bit of them all listening to this radio show all day.
Mm.
See, Bob is complaining about the fact he's incarcerated, particularly for attempted murder, which is like, do they give Nobel Prizes for being...
What even is that? Do they give Nobel Prizes for attempted chemistry?
We then see there's a
It's a
riot
good
going on
line.
behind him. There's a riot going on behind him.
Oh, that is very much the right wing's thing of being like, There's a post. I'll try and dig up the damn post, but it's
The
like,
obsession
oh,
with
they
Nobel
always,
Peace Prizes.
not even the no. It's the like describing crimes in the most like broad terms possible, so in order to like pretend nothing's happening. It's like, oh, so is it conspiracy to make plans with your friends? Is it now?
Oh, yeah,
Apparently.
I get that. I did love as well the throwing of the toilet. It's like, oh, come now, this is a personal call. I like, again, say what you want about him, and I have already in this episode, but Kelsey Grammer is a fantastic voice actor for Sideshow Bob. Brilliant.
He is, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned like they're dragging out the bit of him, but also like theoretically, Bart was listening to a phone-in call to a radio show when he was at home, and he's gone to school and is still listening to the same phone call from the same radio show.
Bob is making this last.
Well, yeah, because
Bob got some airtime.
well, if you think about it, most conservative radio or like news outlets don't have any actual news to report because it's all fucking lies anyway. So they get one witness and just have them on all fucking day.
Mm.
Judge Barlow is outraged, and he says he's going to do everything in his power to get Bob free. This prompts Bart to shout, "No!" which gets the entire class to look at him, and Mrs. Krabappel points out that despite his objection, the people of South Africa can now vote in free democratic elections.
Bob mentions Oliver North, who was embroiled in the Iran-Contra affair, Stacey Kuhn, who was was responsible for the beating of Rodney King, and Joe Camel, who was the mascot for Camel cigarettes. And, apparently, like, I guess the mascot was found responsible for, like, quite significantly increasing the amount of kids that smoked. Like, they genuinely, like, did like a campaign to see.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, they did a survey of children to see which cartoon characters were most recognizable, and like a absurdly high number of kids recognized Joe Camel as a character. They're like, oh yeah, that's Joe Camel. We like Joe Camel.
Yeah, well, it was the same when Super Size Me, where people knew who Ronald McDonald was, but not Jesus.
Over 90% of 6-year-olds recognized both Joe Camel and the Disney Channel logo.
Wow.
Important.
Mm.
So we cut to Moe's, and everyone's listening, and Birch Barlow calls on people to do whatever they can to get him out of jail, and Moe's response, this is to pull out a box of hand grenades and start handing them out.
The meme.
But Barney then points out that he probably meant non-violent grassroots political action, and Moe's upset by this, but starts taking the grenades back.
Do you think so?
Then Moe realises one of the pins is missing.
I liked as well, my glum toothpaste for this episode is, if you guys didn't notice, in the background there's a sign that is supposed to say Ladies' Night Tew, as in Tuesday. It does not say that. It says Ladies' Ite Tew, because the line between the two lines of the N are not there. So it just says Ite, spelt I-I-I-T-E, Ladies' Ite Tew. I don't know why I noticed that, but I did notice that, and I fucking latched onto that bitch.
Fair enough.
Ladies'
Inconsequential
Ite.
detail, but sure.
Ladies' Ite.
Anyway, who pulled the pin on the grenade?
We'll never know.
Well, it was the last one he took, so surely it was the dude with the cap, the green cap.
I guess so.
We then see that the Springfield Chopper says that Bob's pardon is the number one local issue. It edges out no fat chicks.
No fat chicks.
And Quimby finally decides that if this is the way the wind is blowing, let no one say that I don't also blow. And we get Quimby's voiceover as Bob walks out of the prison saying that he's been given a complete pardon. And then
This was a good bit.
Bob then plummets as he's Clifford's
Votes that way.
How could...
Yes, thank you.
As he shakes a fish out of his hair.
There really isn't anyone, like, from what I recall, that the only person I feel like brought the same energy that Kelsey Grammer did to Sideshow Bob was Willem Dafoe with his cameo character where he plays the teacher, if you guys remember. It's like later on, right?
I don't know if I
don't know
that one.
Top of my head.
Yeah, he shaves Bart's head or something.
Oh.
Willem Dafoe also brought that same energy. I genuinely feel like they probably were trying to recreate Sideshow Bob, but no other actor has quite brought that same vibe that Kelsey Grammer did with Sideshow Bob, and I do think that's kind of a shame. Yeah. This wasn't good. This thought wasn't going anywhere. I just thought it's just something I think about sometimes. They never really brought anyone quite as Shakespearean into
I mean,
Simpsons,
they get
really.
David Hyde Pierce to do Cecil at some point, which like obviously works because it's just
Yeah.
Frasier and Niles. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing. I think when it's similar to a lot of sitcoms. A lot of sitcoms have had this over the years where you can tell when one of the guest characters is a real actor.
mm.
And they're like acting next to all the fucking like Friends characters, and you're just like, oh, damn, you're like actually. It's like when they had Brad Pitt on Friends, and you're just like, oh wow, he's like an actor, and y'all suck dick.
I feel like most of the Friends actors would probably characterize themselves as also as actors, but hey,
I mean, would you though? Ooh, would you? Would you really do
I
that?
said they would.
They would. Well, they might. Yeah. But again, like,
Are you implying that Matt LeBlanc is not in the same?
Oh, how dare I say such a? How dare I insult the star of Joey? They had a similar thing with like Timothy Olyphant in The Office. Timothy Olyphant is like an incredibly talented actor, and just like him next to fucking the last that acts Pam, you're just like, Jesus Christ.
So we go to the Republican Party headquarters, which is in a very sinister-looking castle.
This was
It's
again
just Dracula's castle.
so
Yeah.
on the nose.
Well,
but
speaking of
very funny.
which, Dracula is there himself. He doesn't get a martini; he gets some blood. And see, Radio Wolf Castle's there, Birch Barlow, Doctor.
I thought this was funny
Another
'cause,
Republican actor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Arnie, and Arnie is actually a Republican.
Yeah.
So Mr. Burns walks in and goes, "Hey, old brothers, come on, Shilara, was on Mahook," and everyone goes, "Mahook."
Please, someone explain this.
Fuck this. Oh, God, this reference heavy. It is inspired by Enochian, a language associated with occult and satanic ceremonies, according to Wikipedia.
Man, that's so dumb. Like, that's not even a reference. That's just let me show you my niche knowledge. Pushes up glasses.
We don't see that they're looking to actively remove Joe Quimby from the mayoral position, and Burns says we need a candidate with name recognition and media savvy, a true leader who will do whatever he's told.
Yep.
And Barlow says, if you open that door, you'll see the next mayor of Springfield. So Smithers opens the door and we see it's a water cooler, which everyone applauds.
Isn't this actually a bit that someone made a joke at some point that I think it was someone insulting another presidential candidate, saying that a water cooler would beat them in an election or something like that? I vaguely remember that being the case.
Okay. Oh,
I could be wrong, but I feel like I've heard something to that effect at some point.
Well, but the cooler makes some bubbles, and the rich Texan asks, what did it say?
Yeah, what did it say?
Then Barlow brings Bob in, and Bob walks in covered in the US flag, and he says, a fine muffle.
Literally wrapped in the flag.
I
as well.
loved Rainier Wolf Castle. I like the personal touch.
The human touch.
The human touch, sorry, yeah, that was good.
I mean, I know he's literally wrapped in the flag because like politicians always love to say, "Oh, I'm going to wrap myself in the flag" when they're like appealing to patriotism, but also like that him posed wrapped in the flag is literally just like the cover art, movie poster, whatever for Bob Roberts.
Or or they get very, very creepy and look like they're molesting the flag on stage when they hug it and kiss it. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens too. Yeah.
What politician would do something so fucking weird and creepy?
Mm-hmm.
They go to Springfield Elementary, where the candidates for the mayor are speaking on education, and Skinner tells the students to be on the best behaviour, which includes no whisting off, no face making, and no grass eating.
Why are they campaigning to children?
Just in case.
For the bit.
No, this is stupid. Like, this does happen, I know, because there was a really weird niche candidate in my parents' hometown some years back that I looked up, and he was a real wingnut. But also, like, I looked up his, like, campaigning that he'd done, and it was a local high school. That was it. That's the only people he'd bothered to talk to about getting votes. He went to a local high school.
maybe the logic of it is, if you go to kids and you do what Sideshow Bob does, and they feed back to the parents, oh, he was a very funny man.
I was thinking that.
I like him.
I guess.
And it just looks good.
Better
It looks
just
good in the
talking directly
newspaper.
to them, right?
It looks good in the newspaper, though, as well, to say that,
You can kiss babies without having to take campaigning time to go to a school.
So Bob introduces himself to the kids, and then turns and gives Bart the hello, Bart.
But
Hello, children. Hello, Bart.
hello.
So Bob starts doing his thing, which includes saying Quimby flip-flops, and he demonstrates this by doing flip-flops.
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't know where
love
he's-
it. Like, it took me a second to realize what he was doing, but then it's actually like kind of genius.
He also says he doesn't know if he's coming or going, and does the back to front walk, and says he's selling your future short by drinking himself into the suit. And Lisa says we're going to have to stoop to the lowest common denominator, and they jump on Mayor Quimby, and Quimby's like, "Help! I'm being attacked by things."
By things.
And Lisa goes, "Uncle Mayor was telling us that the kids are the most important resource." And Ken Brockman goes, "More important than coal?" And Quimby goes, "Yeah." Bart is then dragged away by Bob's security team, and Bob tells Bart that was a big mistake, that no child has ever meddled with the Republican Party and lived to
This
tell the
goes
tale.
nowhere.
It does.
It's also extremely sinister in the light of the Epstein files. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
I didn't think of that. Now I'm sad. But like they put the stickers on him, they kick him out, then this never goes anywhere. And I think it's because they realized, probably too late, why didn't Sideshow Bob just kill Bart then and there? They realized that, and then they thought, we need an escape from this bit, and they couldn't think of one. So they just threw him out the car.
He needs an elaborate plot.
Bart's thrown out of the car, and then Homer is thrown out of
Fucking
a jalopy.
Archie!
From
It's
Archie
so
comics.
random!
He's told to stay out of Riverdale.
of Riverdale.
What the hell?
Do you know
is
there
that?
is right? So do you know there's, for one, Archie comics is still coming out. Did you know there is genuinely an Archie versus Predator comic?
No, I did not. That's stupid. Why would that
the,
exist?
What the? Apparently it's great. Apparently it's
Is that-
hilarious.
I don't
Does
believe
Archie
that.
win?
Well, yeah, I'd imagine so. But a lot of the cast die.
Oh no, not Moose.
No, not Moose.
So we don't see Mayor Quimby's TV commercial, and he's got a very jaunty jingle while he takes credit for the tire yard and the roller rink. And it's explained that the stadium's collapse was not his fault.
I
which
love
he
this
shrugs at
bit.
the
The jingle was brilliant.
I remember this from the Simpsons album, yes.
So Bart and Lisa are doing some campaigning, which includes Bart yelling, "Yo, Four Eyes, vote Quimby. Yo, Beardo, vote Quimby. He's the lesser of two evils."
This
time, he's the lesser of two
evils. So Jimbo comes over and says he loves Quimby, and can he have some more bumper stickers? We then learn he's just putting them on Millhouse, and the mummy is now ready for his mystical journey. He's then pushed down the hill, and we just hear Millhouse going, what's happening?" as he crashes.
This keeps happening to Millhouse a lot lately.
I mean, he deserves it.
So we then see Sideshow Bob's turn to talk to the Springfield retirement folks, and Grandpa says, "He promised to build us the expressway. What are you going to do to top that?" Bob's way of topping that is he'll build the expressway and spend the rest of the afternoon patiently listening to the anecdotes, and
And
everyone
I'm
is-
immediately hyped because I know we're getting an Abe anecdote.
Yeah.
So we do get our Abe anecdote about owning the first radio in Springfield, where Thomas Edison was reciting the alphabet.
Yep.
My
I just love
favorite
it.
part of it though was like A, then comes B, and C would usually follow. Not that it
Not
would.
always implied.
It would usually follow.
Yep,
which
usually
is
it's very
fucking
good.
hilarious.
And I love that. I love that. That's the point. Bob just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So we then get a Sideshow Bob commercial in which it's talked about his revolving prison policy, and we just see prisoners walking in and out and going down escalators. And the advert points out that
A lot of
You
them
like-
looking like beatniks as well. I thought that was
yeah,
funny.
so-
This
But-
was a parody of an actual attack ad that
I'm not
George
surprised.
Bush ran.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ad points out that Mayor Quimby even released Sideshow Bob, who's twice convicted of attempted murder, then tells us to vote for Sideshow Bob.
Yeah.
We then have the communal centre holding the mayoral debates, and we see that Larry King is there. I don't think this was actually Larry King.
No, Larry King as himself.
Was it? Oh,
No name.
go Larry.
Go
So-
Larry.
So Larry asks the crowd, even though the broadcast is on Fox, he asks them if they know obnoxious hooting and hollering, and everyone hoots and hollers, and Larry King's just like, for fuck's sake. So Bob looks all glamorous, and he's made up professionally. We then see that Quimby unfortunately has a cold, and he laments the fact that he shook hands with old people. So Bob gives him some pills, and this is worries about his performance, but Bart says
Bob-
he's
Bob spends an entire afternoon with the old people. Surely he should have the old people diseases as well.
He's got a stronger constitution.
I guess so.
So we then see that Bart has accidentally given Quimby the extra Dow Rousey formula for his cold.
Oh, dude, like I had to genuinely because my partner has cats. So when I was in America, I was on Benadryl every day until I started to acclimatize. Holy fuck was it hard to function sometimes. That stuff destroys you. So I could not imagine taking... I took one of those a day, and some days I would have to just, like, nap on the couch for, like, 4 hours. Taking a handful of them, fuck me standing, that would be rough.
Well, it is rough for Quimby, because Barlow gives Sideshow Bob a setup for a wisecrack of Les whining, saying he's not experienced, and we see Bob's response is, Les whining should do more thinking and less whining. Lisa then points out that there is no such councilman, but Bob goes, that's a good line.
It's true.
He then asks Mayor Quimby his question that he's lenient on crime, and starts giving an example of his house being ransacked by thugs, and you can't open the door because there's too much blood. Quimby then asks what is the question. It's
Well,
actually
my question is about the budget.
We then see Quimby has to wipe his hair back, and it goes into devil horns. And Channel 6 edits flames around his face.
I never even noticed the devil horns. Fuck me. I'm stupid.
So we then see the people voting, which includes Homer saying he doesn't agree with the Bart killing policy, but he agrees with the Selma killing policy.
I would as well. That'd get my vote.
And Chrissy points out that he was framed for armed robbery, but he wants that upper class tax cut.
Also, yeah, that is
so depressingly true.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, it is.
So we get the results at headquarters, and Sideshow Bob has 100% of the vote, with Mayor Quimby having 1%, and there is 1% margin of error. We then see that everybody clears out, including the cleanup man who takes the champagne on his way out.
As you should.
And cut to Bob's victory speech, which is just him laughing maniacally while Kent Bob goes, just look how happy he is.
A mayor who laughs so heartedly has to be trustworthy.
Well, we'll get to that. So we then see Homer and Marge asleep in bed, but they're woken up by loud banging.
By the Rapture.
Homer thinks it's the Rapture and says, get out of the house before God comes.
I like Homer's logic, though. God, the omnipotent, omniscient deity, will be fooled by just removing Bart from the house.
We then learn that it's not the Rapture, but it's Sideshow Bob building the Matlock Expressway, which is conveniently decided needs to go for the Simpsons house.
Very hitchhikers.
So he informs them that they have 72 hours to vacate, at which time he will blow up the house and any remaining Simpsons inside.
Yep.
So Homer says he knows what Bob's up to, and no one in the family will stand for it. We then hear a car honk, and Abe and Jasper in an old-timey car.
Goddamn house, son.
We then cut to the school, and Bart is approached by Skinner. That's then points out by the special request of the mayor. He's going to be left back.
I just realised as well. What's his face is in the car with Abe as well for no reason.
Jasper.
Yeah, he's just in the car. He's just there.
Yeah,
they both want to try out the Matlock Expressway because they're both old. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Oh, my apologies.
So Bart asks if he's got to repeat the 4th grade, but Skinner says, nope, well, not for 4 or 5 years. You're going to kindergarten. So Bart's shocked, and Ender's cracking up in some champagne. And we then see that Bart doesn't know what a triangle is, and he gets first choice of the toys, and Bart gets the Flintstone phone. And
Yabba-dabba-doo, I love talking to you.
This doesn't seem much of like a punishment for Bart. Bart seems like he's living his best life.
Yeah, Bart's doing great.
Homer laments the fact that they're going to lose the house, and they're going to live under a bridge.
Just to completely derail it, have you ever had to watch kids, and so that means you're watching kids cartoons, and you watch stuff like Dora the Explorer or whatever, and they ask a question and you answer it, and you're just like, this is easy, kids are stupid. You're just like, man, I'm so much smarter than kids. I'm so fucking great. Yeah, I can see the snake, Dora, fuck you.
I mean, I've answered it, but I've never felt like a moral superiority about it.
Well, maybe you should try it. It's great.
Just get up on the table. Yeah.
Yeah, just insult the kids. It's like, fuck you, I saw it before you did.
What do you mean I've got to leave the restaurant? Homer's upset that they're going to be living under a bridge like common trolls, but Lisa can't believe that Bob won the election because she can't believe a convicted felon would get so many votes and another convicted felon would get so few.
Yeah, 100% is a little implausible. It's very much the, why would you change your F to an A when it turns into a B so easily? It's pick a plausible fake, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So Lisa goes to the Hall of Records, and the man just hands over all the voting records. And
I
goes,
thought this was a private election. It's
So Lisa starts going through the list, which is, of course, starts at the A's of Aaron A. Aronson, and Lisa quickly loses motivation and falls asleep. A mysterious figure then hands her an envelope, and...
Also, this is a fucking public library, Lisa. Shut the fuck up. People are trying to read.
We then see Bart and Lisa go to a car park to meet this guy, and Lisa says, well, like Woodwalk and Bernstein. But Bart says no, because their dad was in the car. We then see that Homer is reading an Archie comic and he's guessing the Riverdale books, which I just thought was a very
I like
great
the idea that
throwback.
canonically in The Simpsons, Archie Comics is non-fiction.
Yeah. We then see a mysterious man putting on a voice saying they're on the right track, and he can't tell them who they are, but Homer then drives up, puts his headlines on, and we see that
Hey,
it's actually
Mr.
Mr. Smith.
Smithers.
I mean,
Smithers says,
yeah, you can kind of tell already, but sure.
Yeah. So Smithers gets a ride home, and he's upset that he's going behind Burns' back, but Sideshow Bob's ultra-conservative views conflict with his choice of lifestyle.
Which was an interesting line, because that is basically the first time we like outright said
We get like
Smithers
any
is
kind
gay.
of confirmation, yeah.
Yeah.
Or at the very least that he is in love with another man. He might, again, he's not gay, he's Burns-sexual. But that would still
Eventually
be...
I don't know where they're at with it in season 6. Like that reads to me as gay though. I know he's still attracted to Burns specifically, but like
Yeah.
that does read to me as gay.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Eventually gives the kids the name Edgar Neubauer and says, if you find him, you'll get your answer. We then see Bart and Lisa going for the phone books, and Lisa can't find him. Bart finds a gorilla, and he's quite amused by it.
I see. I found that too funny. I'm a fucking child, guys.
So the kids go to the library, but they're attacked by bats when they try to find some information.
Oh yeah, the bats.
The bats are back.
Lisa is upset that they're going to have to live in a Motel 6, but Bart points out that Dad can't afford the $6 a week. A night, sorry. And then, at the next moment, Bart finally does find Edgar Newbar, and we see that there is a grave of the beloved husband and old grouch. Bart is horrified by this because the dead have risen and now voting Republic. But Lisa points out that, nope, the dead can't vote, and the mystery is resolved by pointing out that Pruder's good wife, who died in 1641, also voted for Bob, as did Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper, who has a hell of a gravestone, by the way.
Yeah, what a gravestone.
And it's voted that even the pets voted, which included Mrs. Bananas, Humphrey Beauregard. My God, I laughed at that.
That's so good.
That's very good.
That's so good, man.
And then we see that Snowball 1, Lisa's dead cat, also voted for Bob. Lisa declares that now it's personal, and Bob points out, he did try to kill me.
Also on the list there is Stampy. Stampy's 2 lines down from Snowball.
Stampy.
Ooh,
So that means
not that.
Stampy's dead.
No, it means Stampy voted for Bob. Doesn't mean he's dead.
So the Springfield Chopper headline goes, there's a probe into the Bob Flap, and it also includes an editorial, why not let dead pets vote?
I didn't notice that. That's good.
I didn't see that.
We then see that the house demolition's going on, and Marge is threatening the crew with a rolling pin, which
I like how they're legit scared off.
Homer goes all Miley Cyrus and is holding onto the wrecking ball, which smashes him into the wall, but he seems alright.
Yeah, it looked like it did wonders for his back. Like that face he gives him, it's like he looks relieved.
We then see the courtroom and Bob comes in and everyone looks a bit sinister. And Lionel Hutt's open line is, did you rig the election? And Bob goes, no, I didn't. This prompts Lionel Hutz to look at the kids and go, help.
Kids help.
God's sake.
So silly.
And the judge just kind of shrugs like, what do you want me to do? And Bob says he wants the kids to feel like justice has been served, that they can sleep well on their hotel pillows.
They're hard feculent motel pillows,
Hard
which I'm
feculent.
frantically Googling what the fuck feculent means.
I know what fecund means.
Feculent means related to shit, I think.
Of containing dirt, sediment, or waste matter.
Fecal, I guess, is sort of...
Feculent. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, fecal.
So Lisa says she's got a plan that they can trap him, and Lisa goes up, drinks his water, and goes, she thinks he's innocent, because Bob is obviously just a pawn of Birch Barlow, who was like, woo, ah, woo, what?
You just the noises. Did they run out of voice actor or something?
So eventually they start going through the fact that Bob is just this guy's pawn, which include he's Ronnie to his Nancy, Sonny to his Cher, and particularly harsh, Ringo to the rest of the Beatles.
Ringo was great.
Undone by his ego once again. Yeah.
So Bob finally snaps and says he actually came up with the whole plan. And then Bob goes, did you want the truth? And he goes, you can't handle the truth. Just a few good men reference. Well, he does add some able lines, which include his, I deride your truth handling abilities.
Yeah, that was a bit kind of belabored the point there.
The judge wants him to get to the point, and Bob starts bringing out his evidence, which includes floppy disks, binders, and his own set of journals, which include Bob's fraud logs.
Bob's Fraud volumes 1 to 6.
The judge asks him why he did it, and Bob says that Springfield needed him because their guilty conscience forces them to vote Democrat, but they secretly wanted a Republican to lower taxes, brutalize criminals, and rule you like a king. Bob's about to go walk off to go run the city, and bailiffs place him under arrest, and Bob's a bit shocked at first, but then realizes it's for all the stuff I did.
Yes, all the things I did.
Lisa says that they get to keep the house and go back to the 4th grade. Bob's kind of depressed about this because he won't find out who the dish ran away with. Lisa points out it's the spoon and
of course.
Love that ended on a cliffhanger.
We don't get the headline again, which is toddlers topple mayor. There's a picture of Abe looking very disgruntled as the expressway is announced as halted. Bob is upset in the prison, saying that he'll have his vengeance once he gets out of this savage roach-infested cesspool. We then see that Bob is literally in a medium security prison with an open door, and he can leave if he really wanted. At that point, the rowing team comes past, and Bob's pointed out that Bob's a yearly, and he said, we need an 8th to row against Princeton. And Bob eagerly gets into it because he hates Princeton.
Mm-hmm. Don't we all?
That's your rather bizarre ending.
Yep. That is Sideshow Bob Roberts.
I also just want to point out that neither Lisa nor Bart is a toddler. And yet on the newspaper it said toddlers reveal fraud or whatever.
Did it?
Yeah, it said toddlers.
Toddlers topper mayor,
Yeah.
I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, neither of them is a toddler.
Well, they want some alliteration. Alliteration sells newspapers, right?
Ah, true.
What did we think of that episode?
It's fun, you know. It definitely gets you in the 2026s, but it's
Oh yeah, boy, does
it's
it.
still funny. You know, I still found it funny. There's some good gags in it. Yeah, no, I can't complain. It was a fun episode.
It's
some good vibes.
not.
It's hard for a Sideshow Bob episode not to be, you know, like at least, you know, high mid.
Yeah, the floor is already quite high as far as Bob episodes go. Yeah, but like it is not top tier Bob material.
No, absolutely not. There's better Bobs, but it's a decent Bob.
It's fine. It is a solid Bob episode.
It's a fascinating episode in the way that the world has changed in ages. But
Yeah.
the episode
Yeah.
itself, if you're viewing it as a standalone event, it's perfectly fine. There's a few moments that make you laugh. So
Yeah, I think I'm higher. I'm more positive on it than you guys seem to be. I did enjoy the episode. It's a fun episode.
I think I just took too much psychic damage from watching it. Like,
Yeah.
at least 3 of my notes are just, this is too real. Because it really is. I'm like, oh, no, you can't be doing this.
Yeah, I
in
didn't bother writing
2026.
I didn't bother writing a paragraph on what it says about society. I just didn't bother. I assumed you'd written enough for both of us.
I got a couple things.
We got some out of homers.
Psychic damage out of Homer.
I'll give it an honest political candidate out of Homer. That's pretty funny.
I'm giving it a Matlock out of home.
Matlock. Because old
Because
people like
that's
it.
what that's what old people want.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm an old
sure
person.
is.
All right, John, go on.
Okay, it is obviously pretty on the nose right out the gate with the influence of right-wing pundits, which has only become more prevalent as time has gone on. I genuinely a little surprised how much of this apparently translates to 1994. This is an era that we as millennials have been told was the end of history, when nothing was happening. Nobody was doing anything in the 90s. Nothing was political in the 90s, and yet we've got all this shit that's so relevant today, including people just making up shit on the radio to influence people. It's oh, okay, it's been going on a while.
Little
Okay,
bit.
I see this. Yeah, the dirty political campaigning. Appeals to populism and things oh yeah, that's also still going on today, and as you say, appealing to the old because they're very easy to appeal to and tend to vote a lot. Sadly, go and vote. If you have a chance to vote, use that right, people. Good God, do not let the old people determine what happens in your countries. Bob's speech at the end is very much illustrative of how the elite ruling class feel they're entitled to power, which again continues to be something we see today. I think weirdly, actually, the thing that struck me most was the Smithers bit.
Yeah. That was surprising.
For quite a small moment in this, to bring out Smithers as homosexual and also to be simultaneously making the point and the statement that homosexual or just queer existence generally is inherently political
And under threat.
quite a thing to be saying in,
Yeah.
a family-friendly cartoon in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Like, because it is, like, people, it's one of those things that you see in debates on social media all the time. It's like, oh, can't you just exist? Why do you have to make everything political? And it's because,
You made it
like,
political, dude.
yeah, because to exist as a marginalized identity is inherently, intrinsically political. Everything you do is shaped by the politics of the world around you. Like, you can't not be. Your existence just is political, and it has been made. I'm sure people would love to not be. Many people would love it if they could just exist without having to like deal with the politics of the world. But sadly, this continues to be the way things are.
Just to slow your deployment of the depression fuel for a moment. I think one of the cool things about the Smithers bit as well is the reminder that quiet rebellion is possible. Because I remember, not to make it too directly political, one of the cool things I saw online during Trump's campaign that unfortunately didn't work in the end, I suppose, but was the fact that women of Republican husbands that want to vote for a man that would happily rape you, would take away your reproductive rights, all of these things, you can just not vote for him. If your husband allows you to go vote, you could just vote for someone else. And I thought that would.
I hate that your sentence includes "if your husband allows you to vote," which is just horrifying.
That's
really.
not. Yeah, I will point out, I don't agree with that notion. Everyone should be allowed to vote. But yeah, I thought it was cool that Smithers was an example of that quiet rebellion is possible, that you can, as much as it is scary to speak out, you don't necessarily have to speak out. You can just vote for who you actually believe in, even if you are in an environment that is pressuring you to vote differently. So I think there was a positive there that I quite liked. So sorry, John, to interrupt your bringing of the down. Please continue.
I think my last big point was just like Bob bringing out all the files of all the things that he did.
Yeah.
Which, again, in light of recent events of 2026, is the whole elites commit crimes and just do it openly and document it and talk about it amongst themselves, and don't really expect to face consequences for it. And frankly, they're right, because they very rarely do. Yeah. So, yeah, that was probably more prescient and knowing than they realized when they wrote that. But yeah, holy shit, for whatever conspiracy theories people cook up about, oh, the elites are like, draining the blood of infants to create adrenochrome in the basement of a pizza parlor.
Why do you have to make up conspiracy theories about what the government is doing when the government is just actively doing heinous shit?
Yeah, when you've got emails that are like, hey, did you like the child I gave you for torture? Lol, signed Jeff, sent from my iPhone.
Jesus Christ.
Which is I'm not exaggerating all that much about what that email was. Like, there's ones like that in there.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I brought us down. Michael, have you got anything more positive to add?
Not really.
No.
Okay, cool.
There's no coming back from that. That was a downer. we should have talked about these episodes in a different order.
I don't think we could call it a downer. I think it's an acknowledgement of where we are in the world, and
yeah,
I think it's important to have these conversations and discussions. I know, as Lenny said earlier, there's a degree of it can make us uncomfortable, but we do need to push back on stuff that is not true or false narratives, and as you say, it's got to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess part of the problem here is they're trying to do the lol funnies because it's a light-hearted comedy TV show for families, but also the subject matter is, as has been observed approximately since I would say about 2016, just everything's beyond parody these days. Parody writers like The Onion, I have an unenviable task because everything is just the world and everything that's going around is so outlandish and insane that like it's very hard to mock it, because whatever you can write is either just shit that's just going on or just not even as ridiculous as shit that's going on anyway.
Yeah.
So for them to write this in 1994, like, yeah, I don't think they were like writing it in the context of 2026. So at this point, it is, as I say, it's just too real.
Yeah, it's very, very on the nose, very real. The world is a hellscape.
Sure is.
I found a cool new video game to play though, so I'm good.
Okay.
I found a new video game. I'm happy. I've got donuts.
We all take our joy where we can, and it's important to do so. Don't give in to doomerism. Find your joy where you can and take it.
I think that's the thing, yeah, is that I've been seeing a lot is I understand that we all feel like we need to be in the know about everything that's happening, but there is a point of pick your battles, and if at the end of the day all you can do is occasionally, like, if all of your followers on Twitter, if anyone that's going to read your stuff on Twitter is just going to be your friends that already agree with you, all of this stuff, then maybe stop caring so much about reposting everything and reading every article so that you can talk about it with your friends. I'm not saying don't talk about those things, but...
Oh, this is targeted at me, isn't it?
No, it absolutely isn't. This is something that I've seen a couple people talk about. Just that
I have this friend. He's called.
No, it absolutely isn't. It's just if your life is an echo chamber, which a lot of us are. We all have like I don't have a lot of right-leaning friends, so I don't have these conversations with opposing views very often. I know I'm probably the most like closer to centrist person on this podcast, but anyway, you don't have to be tuned in to all of the news, every horrible thing that's going on. You are allowed to take a break. If ultimately the only thing you're going to be able to do is vote, then maybe wait till closer to voting season to start getting vitriolic and everything. Because that's what they want, is for you to be just depressed and miserable and to give up. And the best way to do that is to constantly read the news, to constantly really read every little thing that's happening about the Epstein files, to do, unless you are out there protesting, take a day off. And that's not me being like defeatist, it's that you will go insane and fucking die if all you do is consume the news of the horrible reality we live in. You are allowed to find a cute little farming game and play it for a day and not think about what's going on outside the four walls you surround yourself with.
I know we're past the 2-hour mark. Can I share with you a small anecdote from the campaigning I've done with the Green Party in recent months?
Go on, then.
Chatting to folks on the doorstep, I spoke to one person who told me they had not read the news in four years. And one of the questions I'd been, scripted to ask was, how do you feel about reform? And they're like, well, I don't understand the question. I was like, the political party, reform. Like, no, you need to phrase that question better. That question doesn't mean anything. It's like, there is a political party called Reform. Are you aware of them? No, I don't know about that one. I was like, you seem real happy.
Yeah.
That was the happiest person I've ever spoken to while campaigning.
I'm not saying bury your head in the sand or anything like that. I'm just saying that you are allowed to not know everything, There is a world outside of the political landscape. If you know who you're going to vote for, if you know who your friends are going to vote for, and if everyone you interact with knows who they're going to vote for, it's all right to take a couple days off a week and focus on your own mental health. I truly believe that, because you will go insane. You will. Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Die.
Do not. Yeah, if you wish to like make a difference in this world, it is important not to burn yourself out and break yourself. So like,
yep.
Yeah, just make sure you're capable of like existing. That is the top priority for everyone.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Anyway,
are we done?
We should probably wrap things up. Yeah, I think we're there. Let's promote whatever the heck we got to promote. Matt, what you got?
Upcoming, hopefully before the next episode of The Simpsons, so I don't have to do a Forfeit is the next episode of All for Arnold. We talked about The Running Man. We also talked about the 2025 remake of The Running Man. Not in any great detail. We just, we watched it because we wanted the context. While I won't spoil our feelings on the original Running Man film, I will say the 2025 Running Man, dope. Great
Real
film.
good.
Great
Yeah.
film. Go
watch
it.
that.
Genuinely
good.
Brilliant film. Really liked it. And I'm not a big Edgar Wright fan. So, take that for what it is. Yeah, brilliant film. Really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was, we talked about that. Next up, we've got one that I don't think either of us have ever even really heard of. That's like a buddy cop film. Looking forward to talking about that next. As much as, Arnie is a Republican, I thoroughly enjoy watching and talking about his films, even if sometimes they're poopy, like Red Sonja. Other than that, please go to Steam right now. Now? Yes, now. And wishlist, or at least look at the Steam page for Spooky Tales Volume 1. I am voicing the narrator in that game. I am so incredibly excited. I am so incredibly proud of myself. It is incredibly fun. It's so exciting. If you need a selling point, it is a PSX style horror anthology game. So it's lots of little stories like Goosebumps, but obviously with actual violence. It's going to be great. I'm really, really excited about that. I'm also in a couple other projects that I can't really talk about yet. I'll talk about them more when they're like closer. But yeah, please go do that. I genuinely do want to make this my career. It's something I think I'm good at. So please go look at that game. It should be out on Halloween, and there is a trailer dropping soon that, in my opinion, is hilarious. So, yeah,
cool.
And I'm also on Blue Sky at Matt Perspective. You can get updates on my voice acting stuff on there, and also All for Arnold. And occasionally, my thoughts on just whatever bullshit passes my mind. I'm trying to think of what the last thing I thought was funny was, I randomly shared thoughts about why most people consider Bloodborne their favorite FromSoft game, even if it isn't the best. That's the kind of stuff you'll get on my Blue Sky. I'm done.
Michael, anything?
No. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Buttermash Horse. And as I always say on these things, if you would like to visit our back catalogue, we have profiles on Spotify and Apple Music if you would like to check out previous versions of the podcast. And of course, you could go view what we've previously done on YouTube, including the clip show. Be nice to get the views up. Trust me, there is some funny stuff on there.
Cool. And you can follow me on Blue Sky at maroka.bsky.social. Go check out my old YouTube channel, youtube.com/buttonmash, where you can expect updates less frequently than H-Bomber guys. And I do this other podcast you may or may not have heard of called All for Arnold. Go listen to that. It's hilarious. We're hilarious.
Fuck
it's
would
great.
do a podcast about Arnold shows. Arnold films.
Yeah,
fucking idiot.
He's fucking terrible Republican actor. Why would anyone bother? He's cancelled, frankly, as far as I'm concerned. Cool, that'll do it for today. We'll see you next time with some episodes that I haven't even checked out. What the hell's next? What the hell's next? Treehouse of fucking Horror. I hate
Hell
these
yeah!
things. Oh
Hell
god,
yeah!
it's Treehouse of Hell.
Do you want to wait till October?
Next episode in October, no.
Hell yeah.
Halloween in April, it's coming, folks.
Should we do something for it? Should we do something special, or should we just be happy?
We should wear sheets over our heads because it's spoopy.
I mean, my audio booth kind of looks like that's what I'm doing. So, there you go. Done.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.